what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last Can we bring to fall the giants? 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 We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the Do we fight to hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love? Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of the world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high. And we all fight at the last.
Okay, and I'm doing the intro?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Hey guys, welcome back to the TCL Week 4. We are looking at a match between Team Mantra, captained by Tolson, aka Humble, and Team Dark Horse, captained by Lynn, aka Lynn. I have D-Brand with me doing the color casting. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Extremely excited for another week of TCL madness, and it should start out with a spicy one. Tolson, aka Humble, aka he needed someone to give him a compliment in some way, so he changed his name to an adjective people generally associate positively. I don't know, man. I'm ready for the fiesta that this league has become to kick off and get going tonight. But it seems like we should be looking to load into Champ Select here soon. And once we do, I'm ready for it. So go ahead.
So I think the three bands towards Lynn's team are probably going to look something like Fizz, Fizz, and Fizz.
You see, this is why I'm so excited to cast with you tonight, 12-inch, because I've only cast with Box so far this season, and while he is an excellent play-by-play, he doesn't have the ins and out of this league down like you do, being a team captain. I'm excited for the in-depth player analysis that I'm sure you put together in your time preparing to play these teams yourself. So there's the Fizz ban you predicted. What other spicy predictions you got for me?
Past that, I can't remember what we banned, if I'm going to be honest. We actually scrimmed Lynn's team yesterday.
Yeah, I heard it went pretty well.
You know, it did go well. They're the team we're the most nervous about next.
And you 3-0'd them.
That did happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at an Akali ban against Tolson. This is very surprising to me, actually, because if they're worried about the Akali, I would figure that Lynn would just pick it up, because Akali isn't bad.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've been talking about the captains. Obviously, we got the big matchup in the mid lane. But looking across the rest of the map, there's an ADC ban coming down, picking on Droid a little bit, which, I don't know. Okay, and there's the matching ADC ban from the other side. Quantic, Bush, Droid, Sword. Who do you give the edge in lane to, barring any jungle interference?
So, if Sword gets his Blitzcrank here, because Sivir is Droid's best ADC, so they banned that out. I think Droid Sword probably have the edge here. If Quantic gets on Jinx, if Quantic has another champion, he might look better.
I do love to see the shift away from the permaban Bush League Leona that used to be. He was a terror on the champion in TCL Season 1. But with that open, I'm curious if we'll see anything like that. I know Sword, this is his first split on in the support role, but also this is the 4th week in. So excited to see what other sort of picks might come out of him. If it will be that Blitzcrank with the Jinx, I wouldn't expect that, right? We're looking for more of a Lulu, something that can sit back and really enable that Jinx, no?
I mean, it's Sword's one trick. So they picked Jinx here in order to specifically take it away from Quantic. Mm-hmm. And the way this works is they generally want Quantic on either Ezreal or Jinx. So there's no way they're just hovering random stuff here, but they're going to pick Ezreal.
Okay.
And then we're probably going to see...
They're going to pick Ezreal? Oh, dang. I just really wanted you to be wrong there. But no, you're batting 1,000 so far.
Yeah, well, so Music's probably going to be looking for Ornn here. So Chuck, I don't know if they practice Chuck on anything else, but putting him on like a Trundle here would be really strong because the Ornn is almost 100% coming out for Lynn's team.
So the preemptive Trundle pick. You
Yeah,
think the preemptive trundle counter to the tank top lane.
yes. Well, it's not just any tank. It's very specifically going to be Ornn.
And then that is very likely Humble's karma. No, not
Most
Bush League.
certainly.
Yeah, we
He
saw
loves
Humble
it.
on him. What, week 2? I think he played 2 out of 3 karma games
Yeah.
and looked pretty great on them. I think that was like the first one I cast, and he impressed me with the amount of both utility and damage he was able to bring to the team with that pick in the mid lane, without falling too far behind as you might expect.
Yeah. Well, here we're going to be looking at Teague either taking Kha'Zix or Kindred. Oh, he didn't pick either. So they're going to be down Serpent's Fang. It's actually going to hurt them quite a lot this game. Oh, but Blitz has shield negation. And we knew the Blitz was coming out, so no worries.
His ult breaking shields, is that right?
Yes, it's actually very strong here. I feel like that's actually quite a blunder from Tolson's team because simply we know he's going to run the karma every time, but Blitzcrank is, I mean that sword's OTP, so it's most certainly going to come out. I actually really like this.
Okay, I mean, in that case, let's just get the Music X Renekton too, that empowered W, smashing that shield. Let's just get rid of all of the shields.
True.
No,
well,
but that would be fun. That would be fun.
it wouldn't be
Nocturne
too
for
bad.
Chuck. Nocturne for Chuck. Not the first time we've seen him on that pick. Makes it easy for his team to yell, "Hey Chuck, get over here!" And he's able to respond pretty quickly. I don't think we've seen any bad performances on the champion. Like, I haven't seen him go in when he obviously shouldn't, at least that I can recall. So solid pickup for him. And there's the Ornn ban, so kind of keep Music off of that. What is next in Music's lineup with that out of the way?
He's not a bad player past those two, but his champ pool, it's going to be something that's not comfort. Another thing to note here is that the Karma and Nocturne can be like flipped around because I've seen Humble run the Nocturne, and I don't think they want to put Bush or Sir Aaron on the Karma, but I think they can to keep it open for Chuck.
It would surprise me more than anything to see Bush on the Karma. Not that I think he's incapable. I just think that goes against his support philosophy, if I will. I do like the Urgot ban. Sir Aaron had a hell of a showing on that champion pretty recently. So taking that out of his hands really going to force someone else on the team to be that carry, especially if we see Humble on the Karma, where, I mean, just insane utility late game, right? But not going to be pumping out the damage that you might get out of some other hyper carry mid laner. Now that Echo that we saw, is that going to be mid or jungle? Like, I'm not too into the intricacies of the jungle meta right now, but is Echo still viable there? Or are we looking at for mid?
It's a flex, but it's going to Teague, almost certainly.
Okay.
Teague absolutely loves that champ. So that's a great pick here. It's another anti-tank, and so Music's going to be in a tough spot because he likes being relegated to tank duty.
Yeah, I do love how much percent health there is on everything in this entire game.
Oh.
Speaking of percent health, you know what that's really good against? Champions that stack a lot of health.
So this is actually significantly, by far, the worst matchup that they could have possibly picked in a set.
The worst matchup they possibly could have picked out of all 150 champions in this game.
Short of Yumi top, this is the worst. This is rough.
Okay. So we
the-
see that Viego go through. Do you still think Echo's sticking with Teague and we're going to see the Viego mid?
I think Viego's
it's
actually going to go to Teague.
pretty-
The way it's looking.
Okay. I mean, Viego can be flexed around so much right now, both like position and build. So no guarantees on that, but we'll see what they round out. I'm expecting, like, I don't know, a Nautilus or a Thresh, maybe even a Leona. Nope, Jax. Okay. So if that's the Jax, then that actually doesn't tell us too much because Jax and Nocturne can both jungle. Set could go top. Karma. We know Ezreal's playing AD, We'll see what happens here. Okay.
Oh, Bush is on the Karma.
And that puts Humble on the Jax mid, something that I don't think I've seen in TCL yet this year, or ever.
I thought this was going to be set support and then Karma mid and Jax top, but no, I have no idea how this works. I mean, it can work,
I think it's in the rulebook that you can't. I mean, they could just be messing with them right now, but I think you have to have your champion locked into the correct position within 15 seconds at the end of draft. So
20,
we wait another 10. Is it 20? Okay. So then we are looking at the final positions, but you know what? Great props to Riot for designing a game with that level of flexibility. Even with all 5 champions picked, we're not sure what's going where. So Tolson on the Jax into Echo, piloted by Lin. Any idea what that matchup looks like?
I mean, Echo shouldn't have any interaction with Jax to make this even moderately competitive. But I think that the bigger coin flip here is, can Set make his ulti on Cho'Gath do enough to disrupt Lin's team to the point where they just break, or is Swordmaster's shield negation going to absolutely obliterate Set's W, and will he die before anything happens? I think the show is almost a bait because they have a double silence here, and even if Set gets the W off, he gets shredded by Blitzel. So I mean, it's weird to look at.
So it sounds like you're leaning towards the Dark Horse comp, based on that bit of analysis there. I don't know, like just looking at these, like as Anti-Flash pointed out, barring the players, ignoring that for position, looking at who's in what role, looking at the team comps themselves, who do you really favor in this sort of game?
I think Blitzcrank negating a shield, because basically the only thing
it's not automatic though. They have to make sure they play it right, you know?
Well, kind of. Because, okay, Dark Horse just has to kill a singular person and have Viego damage them within 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's domino effect after that, right?
Sure.
So if Viego gets any kind of kill participation in a fight, which is made very easy by Blitzcrank's hook, E, and ulti, the fight can just go absolutely sideways very quickly. And then the champions on Mantra's team have very, like between Jax, Nocturne, and Set, have very overloaded non-ulti kits, right? Like Jax is very good into his own team, so if Viego manages to pick him up, he blocks all damage and stuns everybody.
I like that phrase. Jax is very good into his own team. I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you're considering things from a game where Viego exists, right? Which is a discussion for another time. Why Riot let something like that in the game? But that's an excellent point, and I appreciate how you put that. That makes a lot of sense. Both the Jax, the Ezreal, the Karma, all of them bring a lot of utility that's not reliant on their ult for that power spike, you know? So yeah, Viego with the domino effect, if they can, it seems, play off the set engage or engage themselves on the set, right? Seems to be that's what we're saying is the win condition for those team fights. But looking through earlier skirmishes, like how do we expect these lanes to go? Under the assumption that the players don't matter, because right now the players are going to matter a lot in the lane phase. Music into Sir Aaron. Matchup's not great, but player-wise, what do you think?
I think Sir Aaron clobbers Music. I don't even think it's close.
50 farm at 15 minutes, or what are we talking here?
I think it's kills. I think Music's probably like at least 0-2 by 7 minutes, and if T tries to come up to help him, Chuck's ult is just going to send him in the grave.
Okay.
I think bot lane is the real the real knocker here. I think Sword Droid is going to obliterate Bush League. I think he's going to get hooked a million times. He's going to get hooked into Blitzy, into Jinx traps, and he's going to die on repeat. We might see him
got a lot of
7,
confidence in
8
Sword's
by the end
one
of this
trick,
game.
it seems.
I do. We ban it.
Really? I've seen it once or twice, but I've never been scared of it myself. But perhaps that's because I haven't been staring across the rift at it. I'm interested to see. Yeah, you know, let's see Sword have his pop off game. If he can earn that MVP spot, I'd love to see it go to the support. But who knows? As I said, I'm not used to seeing Bush League on anything but the tanky engages, so I'm excited to see him adjust his style of play. And as we get into this game that already started half an hour late, thank you all for joining us anyway. We're happy to have you here. We do immediately get into that pause. Hopefully we can get that resolved quickly, figure out what's going on, so we can get some TCL action rolling. Where does that first ult go? That first ult, that 6 minute or that level 6 2-minute cooldown, gonna be so critical. We'll see where it's at on the map, but like that's really what I'm keeping my eye on because I don't expect a lot of early action from the junglers. And no invade. I don't know. Are you getting some freeze frame on your end, or is this for me?
Yeah, it's freezing. I mean, we can assume a 5 point here.
Yeah. No blitz invade. What a shame.
I think Nocturne probably has to. If he wanted to do something proactive, he'd probably go mid. I think leaving Sir Aaron in the cage match against Music is good.
Yeah.
But mid, because the thing is Tolson's kind of playing ego here by taking Ignite. I think Teleport would have greatly benefited his team and made him very easy to play through. But now that he has Ignite, like Tolson has to get
Humble
has to get 3 kills in order to make this feasible. Which is
what's that number? Tell me what that number is.
So if you've played against Irelia essentially has to get 3 kills in order to get out. It gives her maybe about a tier 2 boot advantage on anybody else in the game, and it gives her the strength to make plays where otherwise they shouldn't be made. And that's what Jax needs here. I mean, he can go 0-5 at 40 minutes, but if he wants to end a game in a timely manner, he's going to need a 3-0 lead.
Interesting. I have never heard that before. I'll remember that one though. That's fun. So we do see flip side starts from the junglers, just gonna probably full clear down to their scuttles. Nothing too exciting there. We'll leave the Viego on the bot side of the map to potentially set something up with perhaps Flash Blitzcrank Hook. It does look like there was already a lot of early trading. Bot lane's half health, but also Music getting the better of Sir Aaron in the level 1. See how long that lasts though.
Bot lane tried to cheese, actually. They were in the forward bush, and they got poked out by Karma Q and then Ezreal Q, and they had to back up.
Yeah, imagine having your ultimate ability at level 1. It helps a little bit. But yeah, we're seeing pretty typical clears out of everyone else. Do have the slight health disadvantage, but nothing too exciting. Oh, as soon as I say that, Lin gets absolutely wrecked in the trade. Dumping his flash, but Humble using the ignite down the TP as we said. Easily catch a few more waves, get an early back and buy. T covering here just in case anything spicy happens, and there's the jump in.
This is really well played from Tolson. Essentially in this lane, Echo just needs to fire Qs down the lane and not fight Humble, and he just is fighting Humble, and it's really rough.
Yeah, already Humble showing us some interesting strats from the Jax mid, but Music out of mana has the push top. I say, has the wave frozen, down 6 farm with the huge wave stack, so not the position he wants to be in at all. Chuck, without having to cover his mid laner, because his mid laner won the early trade, got the early full clear into the scuttle.
Gonna go up there. Ganked. Oh, okay, right here. That could have been a kill. I'm very surprised at how they played that. I think Teague should go clear his jungle, actually, and just let bot lane work.
Yeah? Just not interfere with it? Let them 2v2 the lane?
Yeah,
look for that hook?
They're like... Swordmaster's Blitz is going to catch something here. It really doesn't matter what HP he's at. He's waiting for his Ignite to come back up. Hopefully it's Karma instead of Ezreal, but either one, you can't really be picky, and it's going to be a wipe. Teague just has to clear.
I mean, Quantix is a good enough ADC to... It does matter. It does matter. Like, you can buffer that Ezreal E and not have any consequences. Blitzcrank hooks like a 16-second cooldown or something ridiculous. And Sword is just eating those Ezreal Qs, you know? The Q poke from the other side is not, like, negligible, you know? It's going to hurt, especially when they go for those engages. They pull Bush in, he gets a Mantra Q in their face, and they're trying to fight on top of that before it bursts. If they're too low, they're just not going to win that fight, even with the hook onto Bush. Because Bush is sitting there full health, full mana, but we do get a little bit of scrap in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like a pretty good lane for... I mean, Sir Aaron doesn't have to do anything crazy. He just has to, punch away. They could be looking to set up a dive here. If Chuck clears towards top, gets to level 6 as soon as Wade is pushed under a tower.
Looking lane gang bot. Does that minion spot him out there? It might have. I'm not sure what the vision is like, but they definitely see Teague on the ward. We'll see if they fall back here or decide to take the 3v3.
They should definitely look for the fight. I think that was an ambitious face check. I think if he had just gone for the hook and then they played off of that, they would have looked better. That was unfortunate. They definitely didn't see Chuck there, but even if they did, I think they could have been fine with it. But
oh, and we get a solo kill in the mid lane. Humble killing Lin on his Echo pick. There's one of the 3, you know? We'll see how well this Jax gets out of lane, but it's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, Jax has Ignite coming up here too, so, I mean, Teague has to be careful, because now that he has level 6, that passive is no joke. He's actually looking for a kill, most certainly. If he can go for the throat here, getting his 3-0 and then taking the Drakes, they can use the Drakes as a win con, and then use Chuck as a crutch for bot lane.
I mean, there's the first of those stacking. I mean, neither side, I don't know. It's hard to call because, well, we have a bit of a scrap in the mid lane here. Humble does manage to jump out. Lin doesn't get the stun. Humble gets 1 kill, but Lin manages to clean it up and kill him on the back end of that.
It was interesting because Bush had Flash there, and he could have come in and shielded him.
Definitely a close one. They do manage to get the first Drake on the back of that. Chuck looking pretty good and efficient on the jungle so far. Up in the top lane, there's the lead we talked about Sir Aaron having. He's up 15 farm right now. His back game. He's going to catch this wave, but still getting pushed out pretty hard. Already back to that Bramble, but not the efficient buy that it once was. At this point, things are looking pretty good. But as I was saying before we got into that bit of a scrape around the Drake, or scrape and then the Drake, who really has the edge here? I mean, obviously, Jack scales extremely well. Chuck going to have that full map ulti to really just like push those side lanes with Jack's in the split push, but also, I mean, you have like a Jinx and a Viego on the other side. Like, does the one-on-one scaling of Jax outweigh the team fight from the other side? Or, I mean, we get to 45 minutes, Elder Drake on the board. Who wins that team fight full build? I don't know.
Jax will be like 1v2, maybe 1v3 if he has flash, like as we move forward. They don't have an enchanter to really pull him out of fights. Viego's very exposed. Echo can't really damage him. Echo's whole job here is to push Jax in so he can't engage on anything.
Okay.
We're looking at a potential fight here bot lane as Jax goes for an invade.
Looks like he's just looking for the Viego right now. Definitely should know that they're there, right? Yep.
So this is looking like a fight. Chuck's coming in with the ulti. We're seeing both bot lanes try to respond. A TP's coming down. I think this should be a very, very clean sweep for red side.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Sir and TP just to make sure, but not able to get the Echo ult out of there because just CC'd by that Fear for too long. Taking the blast gun over the wall, managed to get the kill on Teague as well. Red team playing this clean right now, and not making it look like too much of a game. They're gonna dive Sword and Droid now, maybe.
Yeah, this is I mean, it's a wipe, really. I didn't think Sir Aaron was going to get any value for that teleport, but he came in.
I did neither.
Anyway.
Yeah, Teague ulted over the wall. Looked like he was going to get away. But, I mean, well played by Chuck and Humble there. CC chaining the Echo, not letting him ult out of that and, like, blowing him up before anything else could happen. Going back to mid lane now, but they've been knocking plates down this whole time. And I don't know if the amount of... I mean, a bit of a trade on a turret, but he's going to be able to hop out, no issue.
Yeah, I don't see any more fights really coming through here. I mean, top just has to match Cho here, and the really bad situation that has to do with this lane is that Sir Aaron is going to be able to leave. He's going to be able to come back. He's still going to be able to solo him, and when they collide late game, he's just going to pick him up and throw him into the enemy team. And it's going to be a tough spot for him.
That stacked health pool will not be good for them.
We see a double kill coming out of the bot lane.
True. True. Teague might be able to clean this up.
Very true. I think Teague's going to go in here, but I don't think he's going to find anything.
And he's just dead. He's just going to die.
Certainly greedy.
Not worth at all for blue side. Chuck going up to 103. Total kill 1-8. Up 3K at 9 minutes. And this is not what they wanted to see. Jax does have that 3 kills you were talking about. Didn't decide to turn that into tier 2 boots, but definitely has the gold advantage on his lane opponent. And Chuck just tearing through this early game and this farm. The Viego pick not panning out for them like they thought it would. Sitting at 0-3. Just a series of unfortunate ganks that have been answered by or responded to from Chuck. And yeah, after that skirmish TP and their red buff on the bot side, it's been steadily declining for them. Not spiraling out of control. Like, by no means is this game impossible to retake, but things are looking more and more difficult for blue side by the minute.
Yeah, the larger issue here is, like, Sword's lane has to... I mean, they don't have to win. You know, they can scale decently, but they should be winning.
Yeah, Jinx scales pretty decently, I would agree. And
they should be winning. And for them to be in this spot right now, losing the 2v2, I mean, T getting cleaned up is bad, but the 2v2 beforehand was definitely is the crowning jewel of Quantic and Bush. We're looking at a fight here coming out from Sir Aaron going for music. I think he can probably actually get a solo if he ults him backwards, but he got silenced here. We might see a flash for it.
Oh, music with the fancy footwork?
Yeah, this is an outplay.
Music still has ult. Oh, flash with the silence, though. I think if that hits, he gets another auto in, ults him, and that's Munch. But Chuck in with his ulti.
Yeah, ulti coming out from Chuck. It looks like a pretty easy kill at this point. Now the music has no flash. I mean, it's just going to be tower dive after tower dive. This lane is very favorable.
That's the Chungle brother combo right there?
Most certainly. The brother duo.
The Johnson power in the top lane. And there's that 2v2 losing that you were talking about. They're just getting poked out so hard. I owe Bush League a sincere apology. I was doubting his ability on the Karma, but I guess I've just been missing all the plays.
And they're going in here. This is going to be a 4v2. This should be an absolute wipe for blue side. This is a great spot. As long as Jinx stays alive here, they're looking at a potential comeback, honestly. Having Cho'Gath die doesn't matter. Getting 2 kills on T really does matter. On top of slowing down the Drake Soul, too, it's huge.
Gets him back into the game. They do manage to pick up the Drake on that. The 4-man bot pans out in their favor. Sword with the flash ulti in just to ensure the kills, trades his life. But as I was saying, Bush League looking real good. Sitting 3-1-2 on that Karma.
We're looking for a 2v2 here with favor definitely going to red side. We're going to see how this goes, but I think Lin might actually end up dying here. Lin comes in. We're looking at an outplay. No, Chuck's just too strong. I never thought I'd say those words here.
Give him props where he deserves it. Oh, Sword's here, though. No, oh, goes off the Blitz. That hurts. And they also get the first tower on the back of it with that Herald. All in all, not the greatest turn of events for the blue team after just blowing a lot of big ult spot for that double. But it could have been worse. Could have been worse. The gold did spiral from 3K at 9 minutes to 5K at 12. So in the last 4 minutes, another 3K gold lead going over to the red side. Not great. We look at the specific gold differences of the players. Chuck, honestly, with the most gold in the game, sitting at almost 6,000, 1,500 above Teague on the Viego. Doing a great job on the jungle pick so far this game, sitting 2-0-4, being a big part of his team's success. Both ults have resulted in kills.
Oh, certainly. I mean, we're looking at a very nice spot. If Humble had autoed the tower, they'd be in a better spot. But I mean, this is about all you can ask for. I mean, this is great. Very well played from Chuck.
Sure. So I mean, next objective on the map will be Dragon here in probably about 2 minutes. But they've knocked down the mid turret already. I would imagine they're going to rotate, put pressure on bot to get that one soon. How does blue team respond to this? How do you staunch the bleeding? What do you play through?
I mean, they just played a scale with the Jinx and the utility of Blitzcrank late. I mean, they just have to not bleed out here. The fact they got a Drake and some kind of shutdown is fine, but red side's doing exactly what they have to, and they're going to dive this bot lane, and they're going to use it and just drive the knife in.
Yeah, it looks like Jax is just living in that bot side jungle. See a lot of pings coming out there. He's just waiting for someone to walk through. Finally does exit back to catch that wave, keep it pushing. But blue side, we see Viego perhaps coming out behind the set. No, just going to jump back over the wall there. They're looking for him. They have no idea where he's at because they have been living in that jungle, as I said. But in the bot lane, the Ezreal and the Karma poke, just keeping them pushed in.
Well, there's going to be an engagement mid. Nocturne's covering. Nocturne's probably going to ulti here in a second. This is a huge fight. They're not respecting the Nocturne ulti, but Humble's also not walking towards his teammate, so we're in a kind of weird spot. I mean, it's a great pickup by blue side. I think it was a little greedy of them, but Nocturne couldn't punish it. So
I mean, you called out the Nocturne ult. Chuck doing well, as we talked about, but only level 9, doesn't quite have the full range on that Nocturne ult yet. Perhaps with the Jax running away, wasn't ever in range. Walking towards, had the vision, but just couldn't press the R button.
Certainly. I mean, that was definitely... Because I imagine the way their comms were working, Humble was definitely calling it, and, probably just a miscommunication to see if they could get there. This could be a huge fight. Swordmaster landing it. Let's see if the traps come down.
I mean, it's 14 minutes late, but that's what you were talking about, Hit those hooks onto Bush, get those kills, win the 2v2 bot lane. We'll call it a 2v2 even though Teague was there. And use that pressure to fight back against that Drake stack, staunching the bleeding exactly that 5K from a couple minutes ago down to 4K right now, or 3K even. Starting with another kill on the Cho'Gath. Doing a decent job Music staying even in farm at least, and I'm hoping he's getting some stacks on minions because he's definitely not going to be stacking on that set anytime soon. He will need to beat that front line for his team later and try to create some space in these fights with the set, the Nocturne, and the Jax jumping onto his back line.
Well, he has to be the front line, but he also has to not be the front line because if he walks in front of his team, especially with Set as fed as he is, he just picked up a Blade of the Runic King. They have to shut down Set or they're going to lose this game, which means Viego also has to stop paying attention to the bot lane, who also really needs him right now. Wow. Yeah,
but I mean, we're looking for this next dragon fight. Everyone's walking towards the bot side, not going to bother with the TPs. We'll just see some posturing in 5v5s. We look at some item spikes, and no one's quite sitting on 2 yet. Oh, early engaged by Sword.
All right, so we're looking at a fight here. They should look to pick on Ezreal. Nocturne ult coming down, but it doesn't hit anybody. That's a really good disengage for blue side. They should go back in here.
I thought the Nocturne ult went on to Droid, but he flashed away.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's fine. Yeah, sure. Oh, just barely misses Humble with that hook. We'll see.
Blitzcrank's looking here, and they need to play around his hook. So they're gonna.
There's about
look
5
for
seconds
Red's
left on that. He just threw it and missed it not too long ago. It should be coming up soon, but it looks like they're peeling back. 3 pink wards from the blue side in the Dragon Pit. Gonna make sure that that's 12 autos you got to do to clear that vision out. That's a lot of autos.
Yeah, we're looking at a play here. The Jinx Trap's going down. This should be a kill. That's a first reset. We have Teague coming from the side. Teague just needs to get 1 assist in order to make this work. Because he didn't get an assist on that first kill, it's not going to be the 1v9 situation. However, it still could look favorable if Teague comes from the side.
I don't know about favorable, but they might be able to salvage it. Sword hitting a good hook there. But Droid just doesn't have the damage yet. Man, I saw him fire 3 rockets into the midst of the 4th. I'm like, man, if this Jinx had just a couple more items, that would be shredding them, but we're not quite to that late game carry Jinx stage yet. Does seem like they scared the red side off the dragon because their jungler's dead. That's who we hit.
Red side shouldn't look here. This could definitely absolutely be a wipe. Teague's looking for it. If Teague gets any kind of assist, it's over.
Oh, he couldn't right-click. He couldn't click on it. It was so close. We do have a blue TP coming in.
Alright, we've got Cho'Gath coming in here. The Drake should be looking for blue side here. Ulti coming in from Chuck, however, it was not on the carry. Let's see, Droid beat Chuck. Chuck's got it. Music's going to go down, and it's going to be an absolute slobber knocker. Team's just coming up and going back down repeatedly. It's going to be Quantic against Sword, and it should just be... He should back off here, actually. I don't want to see him try to take this Drake and then get flanked by Sword. Just wait for Hama.
I understand Sword's hesitation to throw a hook there, as he doesn't want to like pull someone in as if Cho'Gath can run away. But waiting to the last second to throw that hook right there did mean the Sword stole the kill from Music there. Maybe a little bit earlier, chain that CC. Music dies anyway, but it's okay. After I think what was probably a 1.5, 2-minute Drake fight, Red Team does come away with it, extending that Drake lead a little bit. 4K lead, looking at it, 7 kills on the board for Red side, but honestly, not a catastrophic loss for the blue side, in my opinion. You disagree?
I think that maybe not an actual cost. Yeah, well, I mean, it's more of a loss in opportunity cost. If because Red pushed as soon as they saw Teague not with his team and Teague was on the side, even though they got caught, there was no Viego resets, and even when there was a possibility of a Viego reset, it was such a close needle to thread that it would have been good if Teague had gotten it, but it was really difficult for Teague to get in general. Nice. The Scuttle getting picked up by Red side. They force Lin off of this. They're going to be looking to put some pressure on this Herald. They have about a minute left. Personally, I think they should just start it and start looking at it, because we see both those people bot lane.
Yeah, and they can start rotating that Karma around the map. She has her 2/2 boots, and is that Shrelia still, I believe? Or is that a different item now? I'm not sure.
It is Shirelius, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. I wanted to make sure to mess up that name. I don't know. It's just like, if these fights could look so different if there's just a couple more items on the Jinx, I really think. I mean, obviously, right? That's a silly thing to say, but also something to look like forward. The team fights shift drastically when there's more damage flying around.
That's Quantic dead. I kind of figured this was going to happen as soon as Karma came out, but yeah, I didn't want to put some disrespect on the possibility of a buffer E, but
didn't want to throw the caster's curse on him, but it happened anyway. Well, what a shame. We were just talking about Karma rotating around the map, but when that happens, ADC's got to learn to play a little bit safer. Him getting caught up all the way in the middle of that lane makes me think that is not what's happening, or there is some classic push cheese happening. We see 4 people bot lane. Like, I mean, the Herald's gone now. Baron is spawned. They're just going to try to bait it in with their bot, it seems, and see if they can catch anybody fishing.
Yeah, so they're fishing for the Nocturnal right now, but I mean, they might just find him in their jungle.
Ooh, Chuck just ulting his way out of there.
Chuck is getting kind of greedy for this buff, you know? Respect to him for picking it up.
Did he? I think Teague might have smited it away.
No, he's got it.
Is that his?
Yeah.
I mean, they both have a blue buff right now. I'm not sure which is which, though. Because they were in the Herald jungle earlier. But, yes.
Well, Teague didn't have vision to take it because Nocturne had ulted. That's the only reason why I went back in for it.
It's a great point. It's a great point. That's the one difference between you and me. You noticed that in your Masters. I didn't. I'm Gold 1, you know? Give hope to everyone out there.
I'm not sure why Red has such a clear spot into this Drake. I mean, they did go fishing.
This turret?
Or into this turret, correct.
Yeah, they had 4 people bot for a good 45 seconds there. And then, I mean, sure, they blew the Nocturne ult, but they also gave up a lot of room in the mid lane. let them push all the way in, and now they're going to have to deal with those waves for the rest of the game. Really just forcing them down, giving Red Side a lot of vision of their rotations between the top and bot side of the jungle as well.
Red has to fight here, actually, because they don't have a TP coming out from Henry or Sir Aaron here. And because they don't have his TP, they really just have to charge in, press R, and hope for the best, because Humble also doesn't have teleport.
You say that, but it didn't happen. So what's the consequences of them not fighting here? Is it just that they give up mid turret?
They give up mid turret, and depending on how they fight, Droid's passive is going to come into effect, and it's going to punish them pretty hard. If not, they're going to start doing the Baron dance, and it's not a 50-50 on Baron when you have Cho'Gath, because he can just ult it. And
fair point. Fair point.
Is
production, would it be possible for us to get a look at Cho'Gath's stacks if we have a second here? If not, not a big deal. It looks like we're sitting at 3. No, those aren't the stacks. If we just click on him, we'll get him in the bottom left. No worries. Yeah, so he is sitting at 7 stacks already, so he's probably munched all his lane minions. He did get 1 at the Dragon Pit earlier, but he's going to be turning into a big boy. I know we've talked about how he's a liability for his team as well, but that doesn't mean we don't want the Cho'Gath to be strong. Music has shown the ability to topple giants on that Cho'Gath. Yes, I'm talking about you, Blood. You think just because you're not playing you can escape the flame? Never. So I look forward to seeing what he can do if he just continues to scale into this game.
This Drake fight is probably going to be the cornerstone of the game to see if Red Side knows how to play their comp well. Karma has to speed up. Karma has to speed up the set. Set has to walk in, ult the first person he sees, and it's over. If they play the long game and try to poke out, one of them is going to get picked off by Blitz, and the game is going to go down the toilet.
I mean, however, when you say it like that, you make it sound so simple.
Here's a pick on Chuck. If we get this on Teague, the game is probably over. We're looking at a nice Zanya's here. Set should be looking to ult anybody. Oh, and they're getting out. That's fine. I like the safe direction here. They didn't have Humble there, so it wasn't too bad. And if they push mid here, they can go for a fast track.
Yeah, heads up stopwatch by Chuck, extending that play, letting his team come down and give him pressure to get out. Was able to walk it. Blitz went fishing there, but only pulled in Sir Aaron on the set, but maybe the loss of cooldowns will be enough to get them this dragon. They do have the fast track on mid lane again, though. Are they just going to keep knocking on the door there?
We don't have ulti on Chuck, so if they just kind of cheese around mid and wait for Blue to walk up, I love this. I love this play, actually. If they can just catch them slipping here, this is a great place to just run in with Sir Aaron and get an ulti. Please, ulti droid. That's all I want for Christmas. Yes. Ulti Cho'Gath. Yes. Okay, so we're looking right here at an absolutely beautiful fight. T can't come in for any kind of passive. He's getting zoned off by Chuck, and then a Blue Side's front line just getting obliterated here. Tolson's blocking basically all the damage. And here we go with Chuck's ulti. He's going in on Droid. Their front line's dead. And that's it. They just run in with the Karma speed-ups. Very well played by Red Side. I think we got a little sloppy there about halfway through the fight, but Chuck's ulti coming up and going in on Droid was very nice. Nice.
We just don't have the damage on Jinx yet. They did an admirable job trying to peel off. We had 3 people chasing that Jax down that was jumping on the Jinx face. Droid doing a good job. Flash Gale Force away from all of that engage, but that is just so much dive to try to peel away. Eventually, it knocks him down, you know? Yeah, as you said, heads up play, waiting in the jungle for them to rotate over because they've shown the willingness to just push up mid when they get the chance. Even baiting the Baron in. Looked like Chuck might have been cut off for a second, but nope, the bait went all the way through. They do see the TP's top and are yeah, they're responding to them. There's 2 TP's top.
This should be actually very good for Blue Side. Red Side hasn't backed. I think the Baron
stopped the Baron, and Teague's coming up behind him now. Music can walk in here and manage to get a silence or a knockup. We might see something.
Yeah, Lynn's getting poked out here, but if Teague gets an assist here, we might be looking at what is the beginning of the end. Okay, so Teague picks it up. He's got to look for Chuck most probably, but he can't see because of the Nocturnal.
Jax is all stacked up there in the top lane. He's not something to be ignored.
He isn't something to be ignored, but now without the Nocturne ult and without one of their wonderful, wonderful teammates, Cho'Gath is actually back into being a champion. Without Set existing, because this was the main issue, is Set counters Cho'Gath, but if Blitz pulls in Set, boosts his shield, then Cho'Gath can just come in and be viable again.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And as we look at these gold difference here, Chuck still with the most gold in the game. We might wonder if we perhaps want to see that going on to someone besides Chuck at this point. Perhaps get the Jax, the Ezreal, some of those kills. But doing a great job, sitting 7, 2, and 5, best KD in the game.
That is true. It's very
That's 3
easy.
full items with boots there. It's definitely a strong Nocturne.
Very true. I would like to see him transition off of these cooldown reduction boots. They're very cheap and they're not bad to get early game, but as you move further in, they're kind of rough, especially when you're into a bunch of auto attackers.
Yeah,
For example, Echo E is considered an auto attack too.
Really, I didn't know that. The percentages for the cooldown obviously mean a lot more when you have that level 1 ult, and 10% of 2 minutes is a lot more than 10% of 1 minute. So, as you were saying, transition off of them, not a bad idea as we get some levels into the abilities, so they're up sooner. Once again, Red pushing down mid. We'll see if Sword can... No? Sword not doing anything? Okay.
Well, we have Mantra E coming up here pretty soon to just get red side out. Blue really has to look for a play off of Blitz, not necessarily just a play in general, but they should sweep mid here, because this vision is actually giving red a lot of flexibility. All they need is eyes on Sword to know how they should play.
Set with the split bot, but Cho'Gath is matching him with his own TP. So if anything does happen, oh no, Cho'Gath does not have TP. So if they can pull him away far enough. Set is about to run up behind the Jinx again, it looks like, but he has friends this time. Definitely hovering in that river. No red vision to spot him out yet because he came up through the jungle. They might just go for the collapse here mid. I'm assuming they have Nocturne ult.
This is a full collapse. We're coming in with Set. He's ulting Jinx straight into his team. Nocturne ult makes sure that Cho has no idea where he's going, and it looks like a full wombo. Teague's got no one to ult off of. Jinx just died. Echo ult going down, and Teague's chunked. They've got no enchanters to get them back with HP, and Chuck's on the side.
Music, what are you doing there?
Sadly,
Music just walking through everyone.
yeah.
Seems like a bit out of place to me. Not with his team, not walking up to support from the other angle, but instead just decides to go loop-de-loop and get absolutely shredded down. Humble with a great play there, following up on that set engage, getting a stun on 3, maybe 4 members. That was huge. And that is the tempo swing that Red needed to get back in the driver's seat of this game. It was starting to look a little bit out, but they will be trading third Drake for it.
Yeah, well, Karma's speeding up Set, plus Set's Q, well, generally. I mean, Set just walked up and punched out Jinx there. They really exploited the lack of vision on blue side. And now if they manage to catch this Drake, which, you know, Teague might actually get it out, but...
I'm not saying I was cheering for the steal, but I would not have been mad if Ezreal took it away.
Everybody loves an underdog, you know?
Yeah,
and
that's not I mean, the underdog there is the underdog odds, right? Not the underdogs of this game. Because as we just said, Red seems to have a pretty firm command behind the guidance of Chuck. The guy's playing well right now. You got to give him props where props are due.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, Chuck's just walking in and wiping. And also, he's using his dash very well. Personally, I don't really like the dash item. I can't remember what it's called.
Stridebreaker?
Stridebreaker. I absolutely despise that item.
Yeah, I can't wait till they take the dash off of it.
Well, Chuck is using that slow because it's 60% slow or 3 seconds. And he basically uses it on cooldown every fight. And alongside Karma, it just helps Humble just get on everybody. It's pretty nice. Yeah,
I mean, the Jax has been the understated carry so far this game. He's, as I said last fight, he got a huge stun. I couldn't tell you what the damage chart's looking like, but the thing is, he is a ticking time bomb, and these team fights are already not going in Blue's favor.
Certainly, I think
he has the push bot, but Echo. I mean, he's gonna. Yeah, this is not looking too hot for them. They have the 4-1 going with the Baron empowered minions. We'll see how Blue manages to send them off here. Music needs to get over there and help his team out. He's starting to look a little thick, but as we've talked about many times,
this could be
that will not be the good thing. You think to dive mid?
Yeah, if Music had path a little more wonky, that would have most certainly been an ult off of Set. I mean, because Jax is just shoving here, right? Echo can't really be here.
Yeah, Jax uses the tempo shift there, just like the threat of the dive. He's going to take a turn and be knocking on the inhib towers at the exact same time. Look at that. He pulls 2 bot. Yeah, he pulls 2 bot.
Mid. They should just be running in and just ulting. They don't. They can play the long game, but they can just end right here. I think they should just run in.
I mean, I know you love the 40-minute Elder Dragon 50-50, as I've heard you eloquently expunge me so many times, how that just balances the game out when teams don't know how to end and just decide to give the team that's behind 10k gold another shot, you know. But if we do see them, oh, looks like Teague once did.
It looks like a full engage out of blue team. It is really good because Sir Aaron went top, but it looks like he just gets chunked out. The Karma Mantra E is just too strong. Everybody's
shield bow gone.
Yeah. I mean, this might be a wrap. I think that Sir Aaron should have stayed mid.
Level 16 just pounding away.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is in a very rough spot because Sir Aaron can basically just flash ulti the Cho'Gath and end the game at any moment. And, you know, they're on borrowed time.
Yep.
Sir Aaron's running mid. It looks like they might just end the game here.
I mean, they got something on Kuhantik. He was low, but with the gold deficit they have, they were just not able to get the damage back.
Chuck is out of mana here, so this could actually be a favorable fight for blue team as soon as they get the E out of Humble.
Oh, there's the... Oh, I think he shorted it. He shorted it. Didn't make it over the inhib there. That was the music... The set ult onto music that we were waiting for the whole game, onto Lin and Teague, but didn't quite make it all the way over. We missed something there, but there was a lot going on, so obviously it's okay.
I believe Quantic got hooked there, and
that would make the most sense. But I mean, then it caused them to step forward, and Droid and Sword paid for that with their lives.
True. It's the stack check at the end of this, simply because, you know, if the gold was any closer, Ezreal dies there, Jinx gets passive, and then, you know...
And then it's a completely different fight, yeah. But sadly, not what happened. They're going to reset here. Jax was pushing like 5 or 6 waves there, so yeah, definitely has a couple of items he's sitting on with the Executioners, the stopwatch, looking to make some fancy plays. Doesn't need too much more. Next up will be this Dragon. We'll see if they can get the soul, which, I mean, no one's going to say no to that shield. It'll be huge, especially on music. But I don't know if blue side's going to have the tempo or, as you were just saying, the stats to contest at this. Not the biggest deal if they don't, though, because they did manage to take the first 3 away. We're looking at the potential for like 3-stack Drake each side and then a 40-minute Drake Soul.
I think that blue should probably give this and just play to try and hook somebody and kill them over the wall. Because blue doesn't want Elder Drake to come down because red side has a lot more agency over it. So they should just look to cheese and not look for the Drake. This looks like a great fight for them. And I mean, this is going to be 5v3.
It's 4v4 at least right now with the TP in. Chuck ults in, it's suddenly 5v5. We'll see what happens.
So that's it for Jinx. I mean, that's going to be a complete wrap. I mean, Teague's going in on the ADC. Oh, Lin actually just wiped out the backline. Teague is transforming. We might actually see a very close fight here. Teague picking up another one, and there's the 1v9 from Viego. We love this champ. Oh, he
tried, but not quite. A lot of stopwatches out, delaying those, dodging those ults, the big AoE damages. And yeah, Lin just decided to completely ignore the engage, go kill the Ezreal and Karma himself, give Teague a chance to get those resets, but sadly, in the end, it was not quite enough to swing that in their favor, and this is going to cost them at least 1 and then possibly 2, and maybe a couple towers past that. Chuck does decide to stay on the Dragon, so they will get that to at least get the Elder timer, or the Dragon Soul timer running, give them that other win con. But honestly, with the lead that Red has had this whole game, we're at 35 minutes and it's not over.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 6 Dragon game. We're looking at 34 minutes. Baron probably doesn't finish it. Jinx just solos Humble. They can turn this into a Baron and win the game. This inhib was not worth it. Okay, so the blue team should look straight for a
there's the pings.
Baron off this.
Pings are coming out. I mean, Chuck is 12-2. He can one-shot that Jinx if she's alone, but she is not. She has sword and music right there, and I think they know they're chasing him down.
If Carmen gets picked here, this could be it. But Sword looks like he's tunneling pretty hard.
Not to be blamed, but as we were saying, like, Jinx has the potential. Once she...
There's the hook! Oh, he's out.
Quantic just eased back out. Doesn't quite get the buffer, but does have the press E really fast ability once he gets hooked. Happened okay. Sword with it back up. Oh, not quite, but they will pick up the Baron here. Okay, that's good. Even if they don't get the push themselves, it gives them... They didn't lose anything off that Baron. As you said, Droid managed to solo Humble as he was knocking down that inhib. They don't have the waves on their Nexus towers yet, so they're able to get the Baron off the map, get a little bit of gold back for themselves, and get back to defend their base in time, which means there's nothing else on the map for like the next 3.5 minutes until that Dragon Soul spawns. Gives them some time to tunnel and see if they can't get one of those blitz hooks that we've been talking about all game, are what blue side needs to really turn these team fights around.
So this is a really deceptively good game state because they're down 2 inhibs, but nothing is on the map for the next 3 minutes. And they're playing for Soul as a win con. So they're going to soak up the gold from these 2 inhibs. There's no Baron to punish it. And then when Drake comes up, they can give it, look for a blitz hook. If they don't get it, it's okay, and then play around Soul.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx is at 4 items now with boots. She gets a little bit more gold, buys that last item, whatever it may be. I don't know, GA or something to help that Nocturne dive. I'm not sure how much that really works, but we'll see what Droid decides to go, as well as get a few more levels, and does hit 16, has that level 3 ult. Quantic, honestly, I'll be interested to see the damage charts after this. Doesn't have all the kills on him that like Sir Aaron and Chuck necessarily do, but I mean, who can keep up with those Jungle Brothers, am I right? No, but he's been doing a great job poking out all game. I'm sure that he has some numbers beside his name.
True, I mean,
that Ezreal does some damage.
Yeah, one of the only 2 ranged champs on the team. You know, he's
Sir Aaron looking for another wraparound. Never mind. Sides against it. Just gets that forward vision.
Yeah, we have Echo pushing in bot. I mean, Lin has TP. Cho also has TP. So, I mean, what red team can do here is they can speed up Sir Aaron, then Chuck can ulti here, and then nobody can teleport because you can't teleport without vision.
That's true.
We should just see a fight straight here. They do a Mantra and Power D. Sir Aaron runs in, ults Shogath, and it's an absolute slobber knocker. It's a wipe. There's no contest here.
I think I'm beginning to understand it. It's the potential to see that sort of thing, and then say it as an absolute certainty if it happens how it happens in your mind that really distinguishes you as a top tier League of Legends player. You know, if we can execute your vision, make it reality, then yeah, that's how it goes. But they sadly do not see what you do in your mind's eye, decide to play it safe, walk it back, and we're still just waiting on those dragon timers.
True. I think they still have a very defining lead with how they're going to look at the agency to end this game.
I mean, sure, but the difference between 61 and 67 is a lot less than between like 11 and 17, you know?
Very true. Very true. The longer this game goes, the better it is for blue side. Not saying that it's not also better.
It gives
for
them the
side,
chance to play it correctly. Exactly. Yeah. Gives them another chance to where that stat stick means a little bit less.
Yeah, it probably goes from like 80% for red side, 20% for blue side to like a 60-40 split.
And I'm not a professional gambler, but I think I'd prefer the 60-40.
Most certainly.
So they're going to keep these. I mean, do they fight for this Drake that's spawning here in like 40 seconds? I feel like they got it, right?
They don't. The Drake itself isn't.
Or are you still talking just like find a hook onto someone, blow them up, screw the soul, play for Elder, or yeah, screw the Drake soul, play for Elder?
If they kill 2 people here, they walk in with music, he tanks everything, and they can end the game without minions. Sure. So if they find like a good hook into like a decent engage, the soul itself doesn't matter, right? If red team gets the soul, it doesn't matter if they're dead and the game ends.
Yep. Okay, so we will see the 5v5 here. It's going to be on Sword. I mean, he has flash up. Let's see something fancy. They're just going to push it down mid. Imagine Red doing that for like the 16th time this game. Do they know that they don't have Prio here? They have to, right?
If Sir Aaron sees music, it is about to be a close cast hit. We're looking at it. Music is right in front of Droid.
Eyes on Sword here. No? I guess they're just going to try to just smash the Drake down. It's about to be a full engage.
They're looking for it. Here comes the Mounter E. Come on, Sir.
They're split in the pit. Oh, this is
They have no idea where anybody is.
Humble.
That is the ulti on the Cho'Gath, the full CC. Jinx just hitting the stopwatch and walking away, but Humble is on him, and that is a complete wipe for red onto blue.
100%.
Oh, is Droid getting out? I don't think so.
No, he is not.
All right, well.
Jax is swimming underneath the ground right now. I don't know if you guys had that visual bug. But yeah, immediately you were watching the Cho'Gath set and Quantic picking up the last kill for the ace. That will be the end of game 1 without a doubt for this first series. But yes, Humble just playing a little bit of subterranean Jax games. Fun things. I guess new passive for the Elder Soul, the one who is furthest away from it when it dies, gets to go, or not the Elder, the Mountain Soul, go through the ground. But yes, Humble showing his team captain skills on that Jinx immediately, forcing him to flash and stopwatch. Yeah, that's a 40-minute game 1 win for the red side. They had the lead the whole time, but weren't able to convert until the very end. Took one big last team fight where blue, I think, played just a chance and blown someone up, but they lose it in the end. What do you think?
I think that red could have done that exact
10
play
minutes ago?
15
Yeah.
minutes ago. However, they made the play, and I'm damn proud of them for doing it. Okay, they saw it. I saw the mantra E. I saw the Sir Aaron hitting Q. I saw him hit the stride breaker, and I saw him just absolutely smash Shogath's teeth in. And that's what this matchup is all about, and that's what this game is all about.
Mhm.
Absolute obliteration,
Yeah,
and I
let's
love it.
let's look at some damage graphs now. I'm expecting some big numbers, mostly because that game went to 40 minutes and 36 seconds. But if we can take a quick glance at that before we go to break and get into game two, that'd be great. Wow. Yeah, I mean, as I said, Ezreal, he didn't have a lot of the kills, but he was throwing out poke the entire game. Shout out to him for doing the damage for his team. But also, as you were saying, they executed the play finally in the end. You called it in Champ Select. That's what's going to have to happen. Karma speeding upset, throwing Cho'Gath into the team. Complete disarray. Props to Team Mantra for Team Mantra for getting them there. Picking up that Karma, keeping it consistent. Love it. And yeah, shout out to Chuck for a excellent standout performance on the jungle. Say what you will, but I think he, as much as it might pain me to say, deserves the MVP for that one. But there's 2 more games to play, so we'll see how they perform in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, getting like slow and steady kill participation and keeping your team in one piece as you go through the game isn't going to get you any medals, but it's definitely the way he had to play. The fact that he came out 12-2 is great, but I mean, that's really how Chuck's Nocturne looks. Last time he played, he actually ended up getting it banned, if I remember correctly. That's probably what we're going to see happening this time also, because it's very methodical, and then we're going to see his Karthus come out.
We will go to break now. When we get back, we'll talk about the pro stripes blue side can take to make game 2 go a little bit more in their favor. But for now, hang around a couple minutes, and we will be back with some more spicy TCL action.
Hearing voices from afar, join the madness
Back. Oh,
No, you got it. You got it.
welcome back, everybody. We are coming back in here with Team Mantra taking a 1-0 lead, and we're looking at the second game of TCL Week 4, Team Mantra against Team Dark Horse.
Yeah, we saw an incredible match one that was just a 40-minute slugfest. Team Mantra had to lead the whole time, but decided to just step on their throats for a little longer than maybe necessary, really drag it out and make sure we all have a late night. But here we are about to get into game two, and there is some breaking news on the Rift. If you check the Twitch chat, you see that Mama Noel's buff has been conferred to Team Dark Horse. So you know what? That's the biggest change we're going to see in this pre-draft. Think about that, 12-inch.
That buff is very scary. All right. We had that buff basically every week. And so I know how real it is. We got to watch out for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. And she also smartly, as a fan of the league, I admire her knowledge and dedication, has pointed out that the Dark Horses have been down 1-0 in their series the last two times and have won their last two series. So we could be in for the Silver Scrapes. But what do they have to do differently in this game to get that win?
Well, what generally ends up happening is Lin picks up Kiana and he throws absolutely monstrous ultis on cooldown until they win. So if we don't see a Kiana ban...
Okay, last game, you agree with me. This is exactly what's going to happen, and tell me how every single champion was going to use each one of their 4 abilities and passives in a specific team fight at this time in the game. And I just say, Lin's going to press R, and that's how they win. That's how you're breaking it down for me? Hey, if that's how it happens, that's how it happens.
They were out-comped multiple times their last series, and Lin pressed R a bunch of times, and it stopped mattering. So I have given myself up because I bet against them last time. Not gonna make the same mistake again.
Yeah, that's fair. And as we were discussing a little bit between games, you called it out. There is the Nocturne ban. I guess you need to be scared of that Silver Jungler when he's on that champion. The man went 12-0 and really enabled the hell out of his team to get that dub. It's gone now. So is the Karma. So Team Mantra will not be playing their namesake champion anywhere, even though I think we've seen it on 3 different roles so far this split. Ezreal quick pickup. Droid answers back with the Caitlyn. We'll see if they want to round out the bot lane. And yes, Sword taking the Leona away from Bush League. Looks like they're falling back to something a little bit more comfortable here. This
is good. They're going to be looking to, I don't want to say cheats, but essentially if Bush tries to pick something that's not Nautilus here, he's going to get punished for it pretty hard. I like this kind of change of pace. I think that the Ezreal is really slippery to try to go into with Blitzcrank. I think it could have worked, but
Okay. We see the Hecarim out of the Chuck. Just quick note, I do like seeing the Leona. I think she's the best champion in the game. I think she should be allowed to proc her own passive and nothing else should be nerfed. Also, her Q should be a 2-second stun instead of a 1-second stun, and she should get all the buffs. But that personal bias aside, the Hecarim and the Urgot pickup for the Chungle brothers, who are not on Team Chungle, which makes absolutely no sense, but we allowed that to happen. As we said during Champ Select last time, Seren has had a couple of fearsome showings on the Urgot, so glad to see him back on that. Going to give him that presence in the top lane. And Chuck on Hecarim. What are you thinking about that?
I think Chuck should be on the Karthus, but no, I don't like the Hecarim here. I was trying to find a positive about it. I think Chuck is better on Karthus, and I think Hecarim is... I don't like it. Into Kate, Leo, Sion. I think that Urgot's good into Sion. I think that Sion is probably decent into Hecarim. Hecarim ults in, Sion ults backwards, hits him, trap comes down, Leo hits with ult, Sion hits with Q, and he's done.
Thank you. That is what I was looking for. Tell me how each fight interaction goes with every ability. Okay. Well, we'll get more into that jungle matchup here in a second, but you were saying if Bush League doesn't get the Leona, he's kind of screwed. Or not Leona, sorry. But if Bush League doesn't get the Nautilus into the Leona, he's kind of screwed. Nautilus is gone, but also, you told me that the way they were going to win this is putting Lin on Kiana. Kiana's gone as well. So, give me your prediction, oh wise one, right now. What is Bush going to play support? What is Lin going to play mid? We see the Viego and the Rel banned away as well. What are the smart picks here?
Wow, they banned Rel too. We might see Bush on an Enchanter. I don't want to say like I feel like Lulu's very... No, they can't pick Kindred! No, it's really bad. Urgot ult can pull Kindred out of her ulti. This is
Can
the
it
worst
really?
thing. Yes, Teague loves the Kindred. They cannot play it here. They can't play it. They have to know the interaction. No! Oh, this is going to be a sad one. Oh, no.
Okay. Plus or minus that happening, or odds of that happening
They're super
over
high.
under
It's very
4
sad.
times this game.
It's probably going to happen twice, but it's going to happen later in the game when Kindred
When it
ult
really
is most
matters.
important. Yes.
When it really matters, yeah. So Teague on the Kindred. We'll see what what Bush and Humble. Okay, the Ziggs. We've seen a lot of great Ziggs so far this split. I'm curious to see if this can live up to the man, the myth, the legend. Verd is the word in the mid lane. But yeah, we'll see Humble on that Ziggs, see what he can do with the Madman throwing around some bombs. We'll see what Bush gets up to here. Perhaps the Galio. I remember he likes the Zyra. I don't know if Zyra's the right pick, but he's going to pick it.
I think Zyra's pretty ambitious here. I think the Ziggs pick is a fine blind pick. I just don't know. Wow. Cass is not bad. Lynn actually really likes the Cass, and I was surprised that they didn't ban it instead of the
Viego?
Instead of the Viego, yeah. Because, I mean, Teague's Viego's, it's not bad, but they banned the Viego, he picks Kindred. Maybe they're onto something. I think
so. They banned the Viego not to get rid of the Viego, but to force Teague onto Kindred for the Urgot counter interaction. Of course. That is exactly how far ahead they are thinking.
Well, I think that...
Wait. Is this going to be Ezreal mid? Ziggs bot?
It could be, but...
Why not? I don't think there's anything against that. With the Castle in the mid lane, Ezreal probably feels a lot more comfortable than the Ziggs. Perhaps the last minute flex, because I don't know if that was going to be planned during Champ Select. But reaction to the Cassidy pick?
I think the Cassidy pick's super strong here. It probably gives... It is... Lynn becomes the win con for his team again.
I agree completely. I mean, I love the Cassidy pick. I love having a Cassidy on my team, especially when they prove they know how to get out of lane without dying. Because you get to level 16, you get some mana items under you, and you're impossible to peel off, right? You just stick to them, and you end up killing everything. But the last minute lane swap, leaving the Ezreal for Humble and putting the Ziggs in the bot lane, so that AP shield means just a little bit less, as well as being able to poke out the Leona and peel him off with the package, helping your Zyra out, who's not quite the most mobile of champions. Smart adjustment from that team at the last second there.
Yeah, I think running Ezreal mid's pretty nice. Overall, there are some... I don't know. So there's some holes on both teams. I feel like the biggest hole here is probably going to be the Zyra, though. Because of the bans from Lynn's team, I mean, they forced him on something that was not a tank. I think he could have I don't want to say easily, but he could have played Trundle here and been really good, especially into the Scion.
We're talking for Bush?
Yes.
Or, yeah. I mean, Thresh. Just play Thresh. Thresh is a multi-purpose support that can do everything. He's the Swiss Army knife of supports. He really is.
Certainly. Thresh, Trundle, anything that can really peel rather than need to be peeled. I think Trundle, because Trundle Pillar stops Scion ult.
It's true.
So that engage just never comes through, and as soon as he ulties, you ulti him, and your team can nuke him. Then Urgot ults him, and then he walks into the enemy team, and it's over.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still interested to see how this jungle matchup is going to play out, but Leona on the Swordmaster. Bush obviously knows how that champion works, and Caitlyn in the bot lane. I have not seen a lot of Caitlyn recently. Trent will call him that as an ambitious pick in the Twitch chat. What are your thoughts on how that's going to play into this lane? Because Ziggs Zyra, while maybe not most cohesive gelling with the rest of their team, that's a lot of poke coming out of those Z champs.
I think Ziggs has to peel for his support. That's the only way it goes on, because Kate Leo is basically out for blood, right? As soon as they hit like level 3, level 4, they're just going to be looking for Zyra. As soon as they hit level 6, they'll be looking for Zyra. And Ziggs just has to do some crazy stuff with his Satchel Charge and Minefield in order to keep her alive. But if he does, it's a double every time. So it
makes a lot of sense. I mean, if Sword can get to level 2, level 3 without getting poked out to like 3/4, half health, enable them to get an engage onto the Zyra, quick trap auto Q net, I don't know, whatever the combo is on Caitlyn. I'm not an ADC player. I have brain cells. then yeah, that lane's going to go very differently. But also, last game we predicted Sword was going to be able to take over the lane and like do some damage, win the 2v2. That is just not what we saw. We saw a lot of jungle interference, and then when it was the 2v2, the side of Team Mantra ended up coming out ahead. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can use that strong lane, because I mean, there's no doubt Caitlyn, Leona, those are both some very strong laners individually and together to get that lead. But we'll be loading on Thrift here in one moment and just circling real fast back to that Kindred Urgot interaction. I think the top side, we've been focusing on the bot side during this pregame analysis, but the top side could be pretty spicy too.
I think that Sir Aaron into music is actually going to be a snooze fest. I don't think anything's going on. I think both junglers are going to run straight bot because it's super relevant on lane early, but
yeah, he's going to get those autos. It's going to hurt, but
the biggest,
I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say the biggest mechanical play here is going to be between music and Sir Aaron to stay conscious through laning phase.
Just make sure to press that TP button when your team calls for it.
Certainly.
Try not to get poked out too hard by the other person, so you have it available. You can get back to lane. Classic 5 points coming out. Boring stuff. Someone invade. Blood, you got me next game, right? I know how much you love the early cheese. Let me know in the Twitch chat if you disagree, but I'll just expect that. Early pings, maybe get some vision down, back for the sweepers. Classic stuff. Checking out the summoner spells. We do see the exhaust coming out of the Ezreal. And the TP coming out of the Ziggs. So they will be matched for the TP, but that'll be one less combat summoner that the bot lane has in the 2v2 if the Leona manages to get on top of them.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, something we're going to see here that frustrates me a lot is Teague is almost always made to start topside. If they start him bot side here, I'll be very nice. Okay, this is actually a very good turn of events because he almost always has to start topside, and it makes him weaker compared to the other junglers, especially early. But with this bot side start, I mean, he's going to have a really nice move into the topside level 3 scuttle contest.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if we'll see anything early. But I mean, last game, I think Red Team had the lead by like 6 or 7 minutes. They were up 3K at 9. I'm curious to see if we'll see a repeat of that dominant early game that turned into a bit of a long roll towards the end. But talking win cons, how do these different teams come out ahead? Last time we talked how the team fights needed to play out for each side to win. What does that look like for these comps?
If blue side gets behind, Ziggs stalls them until late game, and they can try something with Eld again for the super late game coin flip. But early game, I mean, really they just try to keep Zyra alive, and by if Zyra doesn't die in the fight to like the whole Sion Leo engage, they win. I know that just sounds really weird, but if Kindred drops ulti and her team is in it, Zyra drops ulti, it's about the same size, it knocks everybody up and they all die. So Zyra is the key for blue side winning late, because you have Zyra ult and then you have Ziggs ult, right? So they're knocked up, they lose their invuln, and then Ziggs hits them and it's over.
We do see something different here. Teague with the 3 camp into the top. Also, Chuck getting executed. I am so sorry I gave him so many compliments last game, proving me right about his abilities. Not just kidding, it happens to everyone. Double Lift got executed once on Jhin at like level 11. We all saw that happen. Even the best can fall. Chuck does die. I didn't see what I believe it was his blue buff. But he'll be back on the map soon. Teague with the early lane pressure, helping Sion push in that wave. Sir Aaron chunked out hard, forced to the early back. So topside, blue does not have any pressure. Mark spawning first in the river, pinging for help, and I think he'll get it. Sion's going to walk down there and make sure he can secure that. For the execute, does the other team get notification or no? It's just when they see the scoreboard update.
They can see the death timer.
Yes.
But they don't get.
Oh, they can? Okay, gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Sure. Teague securing the first mark. They're walking in. They spot out Chuck, so he just took his blue buff. So even Teague, with the time spent ganking top, not at all behind because of what I'm sure is just a small mechanical misplay happens to him.
Yeah, so what actually... So the way Hecarim
Teague
is
soaking a lot of lane experience, but continue.
Well, that's actually very... Well, I guess it's kind of bad for Lynn, but Teague getting ahead's pretty important here. The way Hecarim's clear works is he's supposed to be taking blue and Grum simultaneously.
Yeah, the W has a drain, right?
Yeah, but the way he started his clear, he went Red Raptors Wolves, which doesn't get you level 3 because Gromp gives you more XP than the other camps. So he should have taken Krugs if he wanted to hit level 3, and that is what ended up killing him. Teague is going very aggressive here, and I love it. Blue side is super pushed up, and Chuck thinks he can protect them, but he cannot.
Just misses Chuck on that. Is up, or just type the camps. Teague spending a lot of time here, but as we said, has a lot of lane experience as well. And it's ping and bot. We'll see if something happens here.
Should go on a Bush League immediately here.
Get there, Bush. I mean, Sword. I saw the Leona. I just assumed Bush. I mean, Sword hasn't used a single ability yet. Yeah, I was going to say, he still has everything.
Oh, that's a teleport coming down from Sion. It's going to get canceled by Urgot, I'm almost certain. Urgot missed it.
He missed it. Yeah, we all saw the dash for the Urgot towards the Sion, and it looks like instant TP back up from the cast into cover, making sure that wave of like 9 minions does not go to waste.
That's good. Honestly, I don't think Lin should lane against Urgot, but if they keep these lanes for a little bit, I think it'll probably be okay.
I mean, they're going to back. Once this is pushed in, Sion will be back. He's already at the inhib tower, but Chuck's it on the word there looking bot. That did not go the way. Maybe an ambitious teleport. Sword doesn't really have the CC to hold someone in place that long yet, but well played by Lin. A lot of pressure on the map already. Taking advantage of the fact that his...
Why are they starting Drake? Okay, so Chuck is looking for drag here, but this is definitely going to be a kill.
Jungle gapped indeed.
Quantic has no mana. Oh, I wish Red had gone a little further there, but I understand why they backed up.
I mean, they got the first blood. They're walking out. They knocked the jungler down. Kate hasn't had a reset yet. She'll go back at this moment. Another wave is going to be pushed in bot. But Music punished slightly for that TP. Someone on the team caught it, but it wasn't him. Down a decent amount of farm, but did honestly get a better first back off because of the pressure they put on Sir Aaron with that level 3 gank from T. T all over the map right now, really doing a good job influencing his lanes.
Yeah, and the Bramble nerfs are actually really good for Urgot. So although it looks kind of tough now, as long as Urgot can go back and pick up a Tiamat, he'd be looking for a really good spot in this lane. Although he is by a lot of these Qs for Music.
Music playing well. Well. Love to see it. But a little bit of commentary from our production. Shout out to Bovey, Mr. Lost in the Sauce himself on the cams tonight. Everyone giving appreciation in the chat. Just the Urgot main resident himself, flaming Sir Aaron for the lack of skin. With so many great options to choose from, and one terrible one being Pajama Party. If you ever use that, I hate you. Really, you had so many options there, Sir Aaron. Chuck coming top and getting... Time? It's the worst skin in the game. Okay, I hate it so much, and it tilts me to see it, and Sauce knows it tilts me to see it. But getting back into this, Hecarim got spotted out on the ward and will be turning around, but potentially looking for the repeat here. Music playing a heads-up game of League of Legends, though.
Well, Chuck swept this ward. I don't know
and
why.
And then didn't kill it. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
But he's walking back on it, and now that he did this, Kindred gets to take the Drake uncontested, and if their blue side bot side goes for it, they die.
Yeah, they're just
Kindred's
fighting
going for the mark. This is huge. Lin has ulti here.
Say.
Oh, T just has to bully him off. Come on. This is a high T play.
Oh, but
let's go.
Go on
him. Dash! T. That was great. Now Lin can go back to lane and bully. We're in an awesome spot here.
Tell me what happened there, Mr. Play-by-Play. What did we miss?
So essentially what happened there, I believe Teague went for the smite and Chuck didn't have a smite up, but Teague missed it, and then Chuck didn't realize that he missed it, and then he killed it with an auto. And after that, I mean, it didn't matter. Teague could have died, and he probably would have still been happy at that mark.
Yeah, that was an ambitious forward play from Teague there. Definitely pushing up for that mark, but at the moment that started, Humble had Lin underneath his own turret. We're back at this Drake that got started up a few minutes ago. Teague getting bullied by this bot lane. As we said, that's a lot of damage that can come down. It is concerning to witness this because Teague could actually... Okay, Teague's alive. Both junglers trade their ults there. Both junglers trade their ults there.
True, but Teague has no HP, and now Drake is probably going to be looking for blue side. I think blue side shouldn't take the Drake. I think they're fine the way it is. In stalling out the game a little longer is going to be fine. Not too long, because obviously once Lin hits level 16, it's going to be tough, but hey, it's not bad.
You got that ticking time bomb that last time was in the form of Humble on the Jax. This time, Lin on that Caston is going to be an absolute terror for the Ziggs, the Zyra, and the Ezreal. Going to be difficult to peel him off. But Sir Aaron doing a good job pushing the waves in, farming up in the top lane, got that early Ninja Tabby. As you were saying, bit of a snooze fest. Maybe not expecting any 1v1 kills, but in the top lane, they're doing their top lane things. Urgot's a terrible champion. No one should ever play him. Nah, just kidding. That one was for you, Bovie. Drake's still up. People rotating the map. Ezreal pushing the wave in mid. Caston walking around looking to see if he can't get a little bit spicy, but we see the missing pings. Humble managing to tell us when his laner is not there. Next Kindred Mark does spawn on the top side Grump, so that one's probably not going to go into either. So I think it's just that first scuttle he has so far. I think Kindred gets the first upgrade at what, 4 marks?
I believe so. Right? I think she's at 3. Could we check that?
If we can get the Kindred hover for the scoreboard while we have a bit of downtime here. Oh, Sign ult in the top lane.
For the gank.
Yep, top lane. They're going for something. There we go.
Sir Aaron has flash up. This is a really good fight for blue side. Sir Aaron should probably turn to second here because Ezreal's going to be here, and it looks like a full engage. Music should get focused here because Kindred's ult's down because he got poked bot lane. So this is going to be a straight ult.
Maybe going to be the double. Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They should go straight for the Herald off of this, and they should have Sir Aaron push lane, and they should just drop the Herald on top lane, blow it up, ignore the Drake completely. Blue's
Let him start rotating around the map. Yep. I don't think they're going to lose the Drake here. Like, that's just not going to happen. They will go for the Herald. We'll see if they decide to march it down top. And we do see that Kindred only has 2 marks. So a bit of a delayed early game from him after all the pressure was managed to put on the lanes. Blue corralled it in, was able to calm things down, and now we're looking at tempo. I mean, gold-wise, even. Everyone catches the waves, probably at the same amount of gold. But tempo, Blue seems to be sitting in the driver's seat here with that Herald pickup. We'll see where they decide to pull the trigger at next.
Yeah, I mean, Sir Aaron is going for his Stridebreaker here, which I'm not a really big fan of. I think that he should definitely have gone for Titanic first in order to push in the wave and then look for a Herald play. However, having Herald to potentially go bot with, as they can test something akin to a Drake, would be kind of nice. I think that they should not contest red here, though.
I mean, red side went ahead and started that Drake up. They do have a pink on it, so blue might have an inkling, but it's gone before they have a chance to actually respond. And we see another Kindred Mark spawning on the blue side jungle. Not going to be a big deal as bot lane continues to push in. Ziggs doing a good job staying back and getting that farm. And yeah, Caitlyn, the lane bully, looking a bit bullied herself.
Yeah, and again, huge shout out to Quantic and Bush League burning Kindred ulti and flash before that fight top lane. You know, he came top, he had no resources. If he had anything there, it would have gone completely differently. But it was all blown by Zig Zyra, and then he had to leave, and then that's why that happened like that.
Yeah, we see a bit more shenanigans in the top lane. Top lane's doing top things. So Aaron does go in for it here. See if he has the damage. No, not quite. Not at all. Gonna just walk it out. Top laner's doing top laner things, as I said. So Herald down, but in the possession of Chuck. Chuck's got to look to make a play with that here in the next, I think, like minute and a half or so. What are we looking for in terms of like scenarios to drop the Herald? Just pressure in a lane, where we want to go next, or get some gold on some players? All options, but what's the right choice here?
I think he should be going top. I don't
know. Sword gonna wait. Can we pan back to bot lane real fast? Is Sword about to just straight up back on that pink ward?
No, he cleared it.
Okay, good. Sorry, just wanted to flame if he was. I will never miss an opportunity to flame, as anyone who's ever met me knows.
Yeah, so there is a mechanic on Urgot where you can auto in between your Ws, but Sir Aaron doesn't seem to be canceling his Ws too. He's actually lowering his damage by about 66%. He probably could have killed Music when he engaged on him there, and it helps him take out tower significantly faster. We have a fight going down mid. We see Chuck's ulti coming through, and it looks like a stat check. Oh, Lin survived.
Leona doing Leona things. Oh, but Bush Bush killing off the Leona before the TP can come through. Music coming back in. Lin forced out completely.
Oh my god, no! So I actually think that was a poor choice to do from Teague. It was good that he was trying to save his friend, but I don't think it really mattered too much in the end. Lin surviving there was very huge for his team. His TP may have not meant much, but him getting back on the map to get XP and just getting the kill gold there was very, very big.
Yeah, saving the top. I mean, Droid's coming in here. Hopefully can poke it down and save the mid lane, but nope. It is going to go away with that satchel charge from the Ziggs. Seems to start off just a 1v1 or a 2v1 kill from Lin into the Zyra Ezreal or Zyra Zig, sorry. But then Chuck getting stunned under turret by the Leona, overreaching just a little bit too far again. Yeah, blue side ends up losing, or red side ends up losing their turrets. Sorry, sleeps to game 1, but they get a couple of kills in return. So you're saying the Kindred ult there to try to save the Scion, not the hero play that it might have looked like.
Even if Scion ends up surviving there, the bigger issue is that Kindred goes down ulti and flash again, and we literally saw this exact situation go down with Zig Zyra, and now he's going to be on the top side of the map, and he's going to look for a play, and it might get ugly if he can't wait for his cooldowns.
Sure.
Herald coming down. Oh, Chuck died instead of dropping Herald, so he doesn't get any plates with it. Now that he's dropped it at 15 minutes, and at this point in the lane, I mean, I don't even know if it's going to land.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll be able to force it in. It'll do some damage to that bot turret. I don't think... Oh, it will knock it down. It'll knock it down. So they'll get the turret off of it. But...
Chuck has ulti here. He's going in for the 2v2.
What are Droid and Sword doing there?
I think they just got a little nervous because Chuck was going so slow. I mean, they're going to keep going. I think Swordmaster ends up dying here, but Droid should survive.
Why would they ever stand under that turret? Like, they have to see. Like, plates are gone. They know that's going to go down. That Ezreal has 2 levels on the Caitlyn, and that's their jungler. That they engaged from the Hecarim ult was just completely disrespected. They're a bit of an int from the red side bot lane this game.
Sir Aaron's going to definitely bite it here. Music should walk to the side of the tower and just tank it and let Teague walk in and punch him. There's no way he should be able to back here. This is...
Music will hit the E on him here.
Okay, certain.
Yeah, they're going to keep him under. Perhaps trade that turret for the one they just lost in the bot lane, but I still just can't get over how big of an int that was from Sword and Droid sticking around.
Oh, it's Teague backed. This is very interesting. I definitely think they could have killed him there, and more important than the kill or the tower would be another stack for Teague as he tries to transition into the late game as Kindred.
Red side just seems a little bit out of sync for me right now. I don't know what they're quite doing, what they're quite playing around, but both individually and macro, yes, their micro and macro at the moment just seem a little bit sus to me. And as a professional Among Us player, I know sus when I see it.
All right, we're looking at a fight coming in from blue side here. Chuck does not have ulti, but he does have Ghost, so he should just back up for now and let Quantic just do the dirty work while they wait in. Once Quantic gets somebody a little bit low, Sir Aaron comes in and ultis them out of the Kindred ulti. Should be an absolute wipe now that Zyra is in a good spot. We have Lin coming in on the side. Lin actually does this basically every game where he waits for a drag fight. He goes on the backline 1v4 and dies.
He's level 11 though. I mean, if you're going to do it on any champion.
No, this goes poorly almost every time. My teammates were telling me about it when we got behind against them. So this looks like a fight. We should be fine. Oh, Sir Aaron getting the fear off here. This is huge. And Kindred dying. Kindred actually went up to try and save Sir Aaron, but she didn't have flash because she did it last time. Now it's a 3v3, which is very easily won by blue side.
Sword went, as long as they keep the poke coming down. I don't think they're going to get more kills, but are going to chase him off here. Sword went fishing with Leonal, did manage to hit the Ezreal. Problem is, Ezreal was in the middle of his entire team. Kindred dashed forward and managed to get a little bit of damage on, but did not turn out to be the engage they needed. Sir Aaron with the ultimate and the 4-man fear, really turning that fight around, letting blue side come ahead with both the health bars and the Drake at the end of it, and it will be an infernal Drake that we will see for the soul this time around. Much more exciting than the mountain from the last one. So, this does bring... Oh, go ahead.
Well, Kindred actually didn't dash there for an engage. She dashed there to try to save... to try and save Scion. And then when Scion died, he also got CC'd by Zyra, I believe, and then couldn't ulti before he died. So it wasn't an engage. He was just trying to do the same thing he did on mid, except he didn't have flash for it.
Sure. Okay. We do see another fight top. We'll see if this time anyone dies. T coming in to try to help Music. The TP response, though, are they going to have time to kill Sir Aaron?
It is definitely a kill on Sir Aaron. Yeah, nice. Sir Aaron is not tapping W there and is paying the price for it.
Quantic TPing in. He is just a Ziggs, and that tower is rather low. There's 4 people on the top side here. That's the 04 jungler in the form of Chuck, who's had a complete turnaround in terms of game experience from the previous one. But we'll see what their team can do to compensate.
I think there's a lot of hope. This looks like the start of a fight on Droid. We're seeing a TP come out of Lin. I think there's a great fight for Red Team. If Lin can just get on them, even though Chuck is on their backline, it doesn't matter. Chuck dies, Lin goes in and CCs, and it should be a really good fight. I think Red side can get out, though. They don't need anything more, but they can look for it if they really need to. Blue side teleport coming in, that tells Red side they need to get out of there.
Yeah,
oh
it was. Oh, wow. That was close. Interesting strategy from Red side to have Caitlyn frontlining there for the Herald take. Not sure what that one was about. Perhaps the Masters level player can tell me the pro strats behind that one. Confuses me to no end, though.
I think that the colors of the screen hurt Caitlyn's eyes, so he wanted to see a gray screen.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I don't know whose idea. Oh, go ahead.
Well, so I don't know if you... Sir Aaron was actually juggling his W there. It made him do a ton more damage to tower. I don't know if he just remembered it, but if he does that to champions in fights, he'll demolish their team.
Sure. I don't know whose idea it was to let us cast together as two of the most toxic people in this Discord, but I promise all you players, when you watch this back, we love you and you're doing great. Into another team fight here, though. Lin on the back line.
Sir Aaron just walked in and died 1v4, and now we're seeing like
so did Lin.
Out of Chuck.
So did Lin.
Well, Lin always goes in 1v4, you know. For the other guys, it's surprising.
Sure, Lin went in 1v4, got rooted by the Zyra, and then feared by Chuck. But sadly, Chuck's fear also comes at the cost of putting him into the red team and gets blown up as well. Ends up being a 2-for-1. They're going to walk up towards the Baron, but maybe just take this Herald and push down mid. Better idea. Knock down this turret, open up the map some. A little bit early for that Baron play.
Yeah, pushing down mid's really good. This is one of the few opportunities they're going to get. Well, that's gone now. They're going to get because Ziggs is just so good at stalling. But you know, Humble's not bad on that Ezreal. I actually did him proud.
He's a pretty decent player sometimes, is what I will give him. Sure, he has a trash Aurelia though. Quote me on that.
Oh wow! Oh, that was almost a kill.
He hit his W. He gets like 75 MR from that. He's fine. You were saying that something that they would have to do is protect that Zyra, and protect that Zyra they have. Bush League sitting at 4-1 right now, 21 minutes into the game. Looking pretty good. With that last series of scrapes, Red does come ahead in kills, but like both kills and gold have been up and down, right neck and neck this whole game. Bit of a horse race we have going on, and it is not me to say who is going to win this one.
So Zyra has been getting protected, but she's also been getting kills, which isn't favorable because she is the #1 target, and if that goes down on Kassadin, who will normally be killing her in this situation, that is a 400 gold bounty that could go on the worst player humanly possible for blue side seeing it to go on.
Sure.
This is...
Blue does their thing with Ziggs and just manages to push down another top tower, opening the map even more. Going to have those waves pushing. They're going to necessitate responses, but Lin farming up at level 13. If we can take a look at his items real fast and see what breakpoints people are hitting. Yeah, we have that Everfrost on, which is going to give that scaling AP throughout the entire game. That Kassadin, if we go to 40 minutes again, it's going to be an absolute terror.
Very true. We're seeing a full engage come in from red side here. Music hitting all he needs to, and then just has to get out of there. They should look for the Drake directly after, and as long as Lin doesn't go in 1v4 here, we're in a good spot. Oh, they're going back in. Lin might be looking for Bush League here. No,
Sword
they definitely
misses
want
the ult onto Quantic. Fall back to the Drake. Just blew Leon ult as well. Just take what you can get and get out. That was so much damage. It came down so fast. Honestly, if you asked me, I would have said the Urgot was perfectly safe there. But Music ulting in, no one deciding to step up and tank that, which is a good thing because they probably would have died too. Red team managed to take that Drake. I think that puts the counter at 2-1. They're maybe going to walk up and stiff around Baron, but I don't think so. Lin looks like he's going to perhaps go bot, try to get some solo EXP and gold there. But yeah, that damage came down on the Urgot so fast. Music doing just enough to clean it up.
Most definitely. And Lin is 3 levels away from what is the time bomb. It's in a really, really tough spot for blue team, and it's up to them to pull this victory from the jaws of defeat. If they can't shut down Lin before level 16, we could be looking at a 1-1. But sure. Look, he's also not tapping W on the wave.
So the question from the chat for our analysis here is why the Urgot is not building a Titanic Hydra. Thoughts on that, sir?
Well, my thought process was, the skin's not important, so he's going basic Urgot. So basic Urgot doesn't have Titanic procs on his auto. Yeah. Yeah. Titanic can't go on Rage Champions. That'd be silly. So we just focus on the Black Cleaver, and he's in the game, we're not in the game, maybe he knows something we don't.
Sure. And if we want to get a bit of light flame in there, let's point out the double Leandry's Anguish from the bot lane. I don't believe those burns stack if they come from unique sources. Oh, music just instantly canceling that, decides not to drift around the corner or bother chasing.
They have double teleport. I think they should have gone straight for it, killed him, and then teleport under the Baron. I think they would have been a
looks like they're going to try to collapse onto Leona here. I think it's the Leona, though, and he's going to be absolutely fine. I don't know if you want to go back in, though, Sword. Oh, nope, here comes the TP, just like you called. Zyra ult's down. And Lin is in here. Oh, misses the Everfrost, though. Not going to be able to... Oh, I lied. He did follow it up. I'm sorry.
Lin might be too big. I thought that... So what ended up happening there was Chuck hesitated on ulting. If he had just ultied there and gone straight for them, rather than getting CC'd down by Sword, they could have looked at an actual fight, because I thought Kindred overextended. But at this stage, it's Zyra and Ziggs. They could 2v5, realistically. But it's a tough fight regardless. Sir Aaron looks like he's going to get caught here. Teague is going straight for him. This looks like a fight. He has ulti, and he can pull Teague out of his ulti. Can we see it? Can we see it? Ult him, Sir Aaron, please.
I don't know. You promised me I'd see it twice.
Yes!
You promised me I'd see it twice, and there was my first one. We'll see if we get another one. Chuck's speeding up right now. Oh, there's the Ezreal ult.
Absolutely.
Double flashes away. Sword, just turn around and Q him so everyone else can get out. Yeah.
Sword's going down. They have a ton of percent damage, percent HP damage to clear Baron as fast as they possibly can. And Sir Aaron, with the game knowledge to put us all to shame, dude. Hey, he just knows something we don't.
Yeah, I guess he said, I don't need a Titanic Hydra. The only thing that matters in my kit is my ultimate, and that Titanic Hydra does absolutely nothing for that. This Baron looks like it's going to go down real quick here. Cat's not in a position to respond. Kaelin catching mid. Sion on Raptors, of course. Where else would he be? That will be Baron at 26.5 minutes for blue side. Gold, 500, 600 off. This is a game, everybody.
I am unbelievably proud of Urgot for knowing that interaction.
Pressing R.
And getting, well, the shutdown was huge. That was 650 gold. There's going to be a full Black Cleaver for him. And I wish these guys would just sell the refill pots and buy pinks. But, 1 step at a time.
As a support main, I also wish people would buy pinks. But, we can't have it all.
Very true.
Okay, so with that down, Drake spawning soon. That was a big play for them. It went really well. They got the Baron off of it, but they need to do something with that Baron, and Lin is level 14. 2 items finished, tier stacked up, and so is his ult. Sitting with the blue buff right now. If Humble walks up too much here, things are going to get scary for him. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
So Lin is stacking ulti here. Depending on his total mana, which he doesn't have Archangels yet, he could put himself in a sticky spot. It looks like
he's got the blue buff, though. He's got the blue buff.
True.
So as long as it doesn't come down too quick, those 600 casts shouldn't matter. Looks like this has happened multiple times this series.
Whoa,
but we got a bit of a fight first.
And Teague counters it hard.
Yeah, that's Chuck just getting absolutely wiped out of position.
Music's going to look like he's going to kill. Oh, Music is dead. Lin's getting engaged on here. Lin's trying to run away. That's going to be a double kill for Ezreal, and that puts Blue in a great spot. They've got Baron. They just need to walk it down mid. They still have Sir Aaron's ulti, so even if Teague has ulti, it does not matter. Teague has flash, so he could look for an outplay, but God help him. This is going to be a rough siege.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck pulled trigger there maybe a little bit before his team could follow up. Teague managing to do some damage, but that put Music and Sword in the choke, and the damage that came down from Ezreal and Zyra and Ziggs was just so much. But on the counter engage here, that's a shutdown onto Lin, level 15 right now. He is this could be huge, but not enough. Droid doing his best on the side, but kind of tickling those minions, if nothing else.
Actually, I was actually speechless there, because as soon as Sir Aaron's ulti came out, that fight became, essentially amounted to 2 hobos duking it out behind a Denny's over a half-eaten sandwich. I got really nervous there. But
Yeah, we'll sub to Denny's for a Waffle House for all of us Midwestern folks. But yeah, I agree completely. That was a game of inches there, and blue team comes out on top with the Drake. Once again, evening it up. We have 4 Drakes at 30 minutes, 14 kills to 15, a 1.5k gold lead. But importantly, blue side has the Baron buff, red side has the Mama Knowles buff. This is anyone's game, everybody.
I'm a bit concerned about what Urgot is building right now, because he's got a good amount of gold, and this is really, I don't want to say this is his game to win, but there's a lot of agency in the top side, whereas red team has a lot of agency in Lin, and if Urgot's not using his gold effectively here, this is going to be really rough for them as they look for these final fights, because if red gets wiped, it's over, and if blue gets wiped, it's over. So it's a very dangerous game.
I mean, we're at 30 minutes now. This is no longer mid game. We are looking for some macro rotations, some smart plays, and some well thought out team fights to come out of both teams here to make this to conclude this game that we've been seeing. I mean, there've been a lot of highs and lows, but honestly, this is the biggest gold lead we've had this whole time. This like 1.3k. It's been tight the whole time, and I'm not sure which way this one's going to tip.
So,
Lin just needs to go on anybody but Sir Aaron, it seems.
True. Well, something to note here is Sir Aaron is actually going to have Flash. So he's going to have Stride Breaker, Flash E, and if it goes on literally anybody except for Music, it should be an immediate kill into a Fear onto their backline.
Sure.
And that's going to be a hard one to beat. Music should be looking for an ulti here. They can't go too fast because Lin's looking on the side, but if Lin engages, that is... Oh, here we come in with the ulti coming out of Music. This looks like a great fight for red team. Lin's onto Ziggs. Lin Zanya's coming out. He's going to kill Chuck next, and then he's going to go straight onto the back line.
You know, right before that happened, I was about to say, hey, Lin just hit level 16. He also has the fully stacked Seraphs, and there he is with the quadra kill. The bomb we were talking about this whole time. Also, shout out Sword there, landing the Leona ult perfectly on the Ezreal, enabling Lin to jump over the wall. One-shot him, use the Hourglass to dodge the Zyra ult, and absolutely wipe that fight. Music, just walk in. Music,
they can end the game.
Music, just walk in. Music, just take the turret shots. You're a tank, bud. It's okay. The wave's here now. We'll push in. We'll get an inhib. Chuck backing. Gonna return to the base here. I don't know if they're gonna get more than an inhib. They took a lot of time there. All the respawn timers are 10 seconds out or less.
Yeah, blue side has a fighting chance, honestly, it coming back in this game. I think Lin is huge.
That was a well-played fight from red side, but that doesn't mean blue is out of options.
Very true. Because red didn't end there, blue has a lot of agency once again. This is... I'm not going to say I'm going to be smiling if I'm on blue side, but, you know, I'd rather have a 20% chance to win than my Nexus exploding.
You do a lot of math. I'm not smart enough to keep up with that. But I agree. Nexus exploding, that's bad. I just love to see it. We've been talking about it all game. Glad to see that we're proved right. Lin going to pop off, went from 3-2 to 7-2. Man's going to pick up this blue buff and continue to be absolutely massive. Decides to upgrade to the Magi's. We'll see if he can stack it up as well. Honestly, just kind of let him do his own thing. We have that hard engage from the Sion and the Leona. Pull the trigger, be in position like you were last time, make these team fights happen. Blue side pinging out that Baron. We'll see if team Dark Horse can get rotated over there in time to respond and what's going to happen next. As long as we don't frontline the Caitlyn and the Baron fit again, I think it'll be okay.
Lin does not have Flash here, so he has to be a little bit careful, but this looks like an ulti from Music into a kill.
Yeah, Seren got hard chunked out there. Will not have as easy of time going into the enemy team. Looks like they're going to push down mid, taking a feather out of Team Mantra's Cap, who have shown an absolute willingness to just run it down mid when teams flap in the side lanes too much. Gonna force them out of their own base, and we'll see. Chuck for the flank here.
Chuck going for... Oh, is that a 3-man ulti, I see? Very good. They need to focus on Lin here, or... looks like red team's got them, regardless of Chuck's engage. Just a miss from Sir Aaron. That's a hard engage from Sword and Lin, and red side should win the game here.
That is correct. That is the wipe. Good old team. There's no Urgot to pull you out of it now. Maybe do it under turret so we can continue this game on. But it looks like with that, the series will be evened up to 1 from 1-0 to 1-1. The Mama Knowles buff proving too much to overcome at this time. They're going to knock it down here. Lin hit level 16 and decided, you know what? I've had enough. No more 40-minute games. Let's knock this one down to 33 and wrap it up quickly. The ace into the end of the game, and we'll go to the victory screen. Looking at the damages, I'm expecting, once again, Ezreal, the most balanced champion in the history of League of Legends, to have done very little. Nah, just kidding. He'll have tons, and so will Lin from those fights at the end. Lin did fall, but not before wiping out 3 of the members from the blue side.
Yeah, I mean, damn. Close. Nothing was particularly messy. It just looks like both teams are certainly more practiced than they were in earlier
Yeah,
weeks. And
no doubt.
solid win from Lynn's team. I saw Lynn's Cassidy come out, and I was like, well, Lynn's a win con, and the Lin con he was.
Oh, the Ziggs poke out damaging the Ezreal by a lot. And I would love to see just like some timers on that damage bar, like show me 10-minute increments, because I feel like all of Lin's damage was in the last like 6 minutes of that game. It was crazy to see. But the man comes through with 7 minutes in the last 10 to help his team get pushed over the edge. And the series sitting at 1-1 is going to go to a game 3. We have ourselves a game 3, everybody. Get excited, and we will be back after a short break to watch that one with you. Stick around. As blue, red, dark horse blue. So
All right, guys, welcome back to the third game between Team Mantra and Team Dark Horse. We just saw Lynn, the Legends team, picking up another win on the back of Lynn's Cassidon, Swords Leona, and Music X with those fat engages on Scion. What did you think about the last game?
I thought that is exactly what I wanted to see. You told me in the pregame lobby when we were talking, just shooting the shit, doing a bit of analysis, that the difference for Dark Horse to win was going to be Lynn with those massive ults. You had the champion wrong, but the results right. Lynn with the pop off, not on the Kiana, but on that Karthus. I'm sorry, not Karthus. That Cassidon managing to carry his team through game 2. So we can talk about how much Lynn popped off there, but I think an equal storyline, and no flame intended, is the difference between Chuck's play game 1 and game 2. Game 1, we gave him all the props in the world, right? He ended 12-2. That Nocturne, super effective. But game 2, Hecarim did not seem to be Chuck's champion.
Yeah, so originally, from what I've seen out of Chuck, his comfort goes from Nocturne to Karthus and then other champs.
Okay, so Nocturne to Karthus to what we saw the Hecarim.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're nervous to put him on the Karthus, but especially in week 1 and week 2, I heard a lot of talk about how good Chuck's Karthus was, and it's kind of concerning to not see it now. Oh, draft has started.
Exciting. Just so everyone who's not watching the chat as closely as I am, Mominals did impart the team or the buff to Team Mantra this game, so we'll see if she can pick 3 out of 3. Ban, which is kind of a staple against Team Mantra. You're not going to let Humble play his most played champion. With that one out of the way, we'll see what else mixes it up. I feel like we're still going to see that Nocturne ban.
Of course. I mean, Chuck's good on it.
There it is. So, obviously, well, are they scared enough of that Cassidon, or will picking up Karthus in the jungle be the difference to tilt those scales? Because as we pointed out last game, it was back and forth the whole time. There was no winner until suddenly there was.
So generally, Lynn's team will actually do some like crazy blinds. Like I've seen them first pick Karthus. So the fact that it got through the second rotation was kind of concerning. So yeah, I mean, I think we see the Kiana ban, we see the Karthus banned, or we see the Cassidon banned, and then we see the Karthus picked. So he can't really get punished by those other scaling champions.
Sure. And again, the Karma ban, something I like to see. I just don't think Karma's an exciting champion. Get it out of here. Team Mantra, you can play without your namesake. The Mordekaiser comes through because nothing is more terrifying than Music X on a champion he's good at. Change my mind.
Oh, certainly. We banned that in our scrims against them. All 3 games.
That's why you won. Guaranteed. Heard her here first. Don't ban that, you lose.
Very true. Very true. So I don't want to jinx it, but we're looking at Leona first.
Like it.
Quantic's getting Ezreal.
Sword did well on it last game. I mean, they didn't bully him in lane, but then again, like the Zig Zyra, that's a hard lane to go all in on if you can't get in range, like it's going to have to be like the flash Q, then Kayla has to follow that up for sure. But Sword had a good showing on it. He missed a couple of ults, but he also hit a couple of ults. Like that last one, the big Quadra kill, he hit the ult right onto Quantic or not Quantic, even Humble, because Humble was on the Ezreal last game and blew him up. But then, I mean, we say that Quantic gets the Ezreal, but then again, Humble played it literally 10 minutes ago. So we'll see where that ends up going. A lot of flex picks in this league nowadays. People showing the ability to play what's best for the team and not just what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, not too bad. It looks like Mama Knowles is actually giving Chuck a little bit of the extra buff. So we might see that Karthus popping out. We see Ezreal Nautilus into Leo. I like that a lot. I think that Kate might actually be a little difficult here simply because Nautilus is such strong counter engage in a Leo.
That's fair. I mean, I definitely think the Nautilus pick is more comfortable for Bush League to play in the lane. Not that he had a bad showing on the Zyra. It just didn't give the team what they needed to. Tran was saying after seeing one champion picked by the enemy team that he would like to see the Zyra again. Sure, dude. Sounds good to me. But yes, as you said, Mama Knowles giving Chuck the buff on Father's Day. We'll see how that turns out for them. Teague back on the Kindred. Now, you promised me 2 Urgot Kindred interactions. I only got 1, so we'll see if I get the second one this game.
Yeah, I would love to see Surin pick up the Urgot here as soon as he sees the Kindred, build that Titanic first, and I mean it's a good lane too.
I mean, we're seeing a bit of a run back from the blue side here. We'll see if the bands have anything to say about it. But I mean, we could look at something similar lanes from the other side. San Zyra, of course, because we already have the Nautilus coming out. But we'll see how they wrap up this round of picks. Kind of expecting the top lane here because we already saw the Scion. So what does Surin want to play? Does he run it back with the Urgot? Makes sense to me. Nope. Gonna
Set's not
switch it up
bad
and go
here
with the
because
set.
Scion has to get in position by ulting. It's overall not a huge issue. Another thing that Set can do is instead of ulting Scion and putting his team in disarray like that, he can ulti Leo, he can ulti Kindred out of Kindred's ulti, and they're all just very favorable interactions. I like this set a lot here, and Surin has shown that he is pretty good.
There's
on
the
it.
Keen.
As long as they ban
there's the
Cassidy.
quinoa ban. We're expecting the Cassidy next. Shout out to the people in the chat who are making fun of me and my inability to spell. Really appreciate that, everyone. Jack's ban, not going to see that out of Humble again. And we'll see if they do wrap it up with the Cassidy. I don't remember what they did last time. But the Cassidy should be fresh on their minds.
Diego.
The Viego ban, that's what it was. That's right.
But Kindred's already
I was going to say,
so
Teague already picked his jungler. I mean, Lynn could run Viego mid. It's definitely a pick. But
yeah, but they would.
Caitlyn.
I don't know.
Caitlyn.
So Humble is going to run the Ezreal into Cassidy, almost certainly. I assume that he's telling his team that he enjoyed that matchup, he thought it was favorable, and if they just played it a little tighter, they could have won. I assume that's how the comms are going down.
So Ego picking it again?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I don't know if he's not putting respect on Lynn, because I do think the Ezreal is a favorable matchup.
Who plays Tryndamere?
Humble does. I believe he plays Tryndamere mid.
Interesting. That's weird.
It's not a bad pick right now. As far as I know, Tranimal attempted to play it, and there was one other person that played it mid.
Tranimal has attempted to play a lot of things that we need not comment on during this stream. Okay, so taking him off. So that's not the Karthus that you wanted to see. It is the Zac, though, which gives them a lot. I mean, they have frontline out the ass right now. They got the Nautilus, the Set, the Zac, plenty of engage, plenty of counter engage, plenty of peel for the backline. They're going to need to see some damage coming out to really round out this comp. The Senna coming out for Droid. Definitely going to be Droid there. Not going to be on Sword. Sword's going to stick with the Leona. I think Senna's... I like having a Senna on my team. I don't like Senna as a champion. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well... you're talking about damage, okay?
Senna brings a lot to the table.
Senna does bring a lot, but Zac actually has a damage build floating around right now that absolutely rips through.
Really?
Things. Yes, it also rips through squishies.
Like, what are you talking mythic wise?
It's the one that gives you Omnivamp.
So Riftmaker?
Yes, it's Riftmaker. Riftmaker Zac is actually quite strong right now.
Interesting.
And yeah, it looks like they're going to have to run it because they don't have a ton of physical or a ton of magic damage.
I mean, very little.
Chuck is... I've seen his Zac before. I wasn't terribly impressed, but it's better than his Hecarim.
So, yeah, go ahead.
If he's practiced on it and runs the Riftmaker build, I think this game could see a run back at the first game.
The one thing that I will say in Chuck's favor on the Zac is that as someone who's bad at League of Legends, when I jungle, I also tend to play Zac. So obviously it's not a hard thing to do right. Very forgiving, get those early dives, put a lot of pressure on with your passive. The clear is not the most healthy thing in the world, but also if you're building more damage, it'll go a little bit faster. But Humble on the Viego. Lynn running back the Echo from game 1. Interesting. I'll be excited to see how this plays out.
It's a complete dive comp. I mean, Nautilus, Zac, Set, and all of it played alongside Viego. As long as Viego ults where Zac drops E, he's going to get an assist. He's going to transform. Kindred does a ton of damage. Zac has a ton of CC. Echo's kind of useless. Senna's pretty good. Leo's pretty good. So Viego's got a lot of really nice champs that he can jump on here, and his whole team is trying to make it possible for him to do that, including Set being able to take people out of the Kindred ult.
Makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I hate to argue with Mama Knowles because I hate being proven wrong when there's a record of it on the internet. We all know that never goes away, but I'm kind of pulling for Team Dark Horse here, looking at the players and the champions. Although you're right, it does seem like they have a very concrete way to play into those team fights, following up that Zac engage with everything, letting Viego get those resets. I think Dark Horse is just gonna out comfort them on these picks and pull it around because that all rests on Chuck's shoulders. And which Chuck are we gonna see is the question that I really think needs to be answered before you can decide who's gonna win this game.
Very true. And Lynn's team has been outcomped before,
Mm-hmm.
and they have just shown that comfort is king at this point in the league. I mean, especially when you consider like the amount of practice that most teams have gotten in. Um,
And the
champs,
lack of practice they have, yeah.
very sure, very true. The amount of comfort that they can pull here out of their picks is very strong, and the fact that Humble was denied his marquee counter towards Lynn's Echo is also very telling. It really does rest on Chuck's shoulders, and Chuck has taken multiple week plus breaks, so we don't know what Chuck we're going to get. That's a very good point.
Mhm. Life happens, but League of Legends never stops. I appreciate Blood's comment in the chats. Humble's absolute refusal to play a real mid laner. Very much here for it. But as an off-rolling captain yourself, you know a little bit of what that must be like.
Is a mid laner?
I mean, you're off-rolling the jungle, right?
That is very true.
Yeah, you just don't get a. I mean, you play a lot of junglers, but there's some that maybe not the most typical to see in the role.
That's true. Urgot, Pantheon, very factual.
Yeah, because you would never be comfortable on them from playing them in the top lane, right? That was the only point I was trying to make there.
Yes.
So Teague, we saw, had amazing impact early last game on the Kindred, right? Let's turn back to what we think we're going to see out of this early game. Zac's clear, not the healthiest, but if he can just walk around and pick up his blobs, I'm not expecting to see him get executed again. I don't know if we're going to see the same like 3 camp into top gank that we did last time, but I would like to see the same sort of pressure out of Teague because I think he excels at pressuring more inexperienced junglers who maybe don't know the timings and can track their enemies quite as well through those first clears.
Sure. I mean, I think T's tracking is pretty good. I would like to see Chuck's team actually take sweepers,
Mm-hmm.
like pretty early here, as soon as they come out, especially Bush League. If when he 5 points, if he can just sweep up if they see a ward drop, because these teams are warding in front of each other. And the immediate pause.
Run it back from game 1 already.
So
Good individual and team play, but it can. That is a dangerous basket to put your eggs in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sure, but they can definitely facilitate.
Yeah, and when he
how
makes the right
easy it
call,
is
they
for him
look
to make that
phenomenal. Sterling doing a great job top lane. I don't think he's been ahead of music for most of all of the games. Just on that Urgot, out of position a few times last time. We'll see if he can run it back better on the set like he did last time in game 1. Checking out summoner spells real quick. We have pretty much mirrored matchups, except Sword decided to take the exhaust. It seems like they were listening in and heard us talk about that all in. That is so terrifying from the Viego getting those resets on top of the Zaki. Going to get the early ward down just like game 1. Gonna back, pick up that sweeper that you were asking for, go to the bot side for that clear. And so we should have mirrored clears here. I would imagine Kindred also starting bot here on the red buff.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I mean, the way this is looking, I would have liked to see both Humble and Lin take teleports. However, they both have ignites, but since they both have ignites, it's not a huge issue. Bush having, like, Bush and Quantic running a healless bot lane is also really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the exhaust on Sword, obviously, they are tapped in, and they're definitely going to be exhausting that Viego every fight. I mean, yeah, looking good.
I mean, the marksman on the side of Team Dark Horse scale exceptionally well, right? Like, technically, they're both infinitely scaling marksmen. Both in terms of range and damage. So as this game goes later and later, they're going to hurt real bad. And that Scion, another infinitely scaling champion, going to be sitting out in front. It's really going to be on the Viego and the Ezreal to put down the damage that this team's going to need as we develop through this series.
I think that Set is going to deal probably a surprising amount of damage on the back of Scion getting punched down. And I think that Chuck going Aftershock is probably him not going to go the damage build. Also, Teague taking the red buff here is huge.
Yeah, gonna get that steal away. Zach does not have a fast clear. I did see a red ping onto that buff, but I'm assuming that's just an indication for his mid laner that he's planning on full clearing. Now, someone's pinging top. See a missing ping. So Aaron does get that ward down, wary of that same cheese that he got last time. Zach, there's no way they spotted the Kindred out, right? He's just going for the invade here.
So I think they might know that Kindred's in his top side, but he may have not thought that she went red to red. He might think that she went blue to red. And so this read actually hurts Chuck quite a lot. The fact that he gets to pick up Raptors is actually not bad recompense, though.
Yeah, he'll get a little bit of a consolation prize there, but will get triple buffed right off the get-go. Doing a good job already, has less deaths than he did last time, and I promise that'll be the last time I bring up the fact that he got executed unless it happens again. Ooh. Droid not setting that minion up quite perfectly. Also, is that Tom Kench rework live yet?
Not yet.
I'm excited for that. Not to change the subject. I just saw the Senna. I thought about Tom Kench in general because you know how they go hand in hand. But yeah, should be some fun things coming to League of Legends near you soon.
Yeah, if Bush can start on this bot scuttle and then Chuck can just jump over and then take it, and then he can back and take his top side, it really doesn't matter that T got 3 buffs because he got 2 camps. She didn't get her mark, and he didn't lose any camps past his red. So Chuck's actually in a really good spot here. This is quite surprising.
All in all, doesn't feel that bad. Teague will go back up and grab one more. Also, the timer on that's going to be a bit off, but Viego kind of nosing around in the area. Yeah, they know he's there, but not going to mess around with him too much. Echo will be on there in a second. Potentially could come from behind. Gonna see the pings for it, but I imagine Humble has an idea of where the Kindred is at this point. Yeah, he's just gonna throw down his mist and walk it out.
Certainly, he's got to waste any time he possibly can out of the Kindred. The Kindred actually left that little 1 BM Raptor, and they're both going to converge on top side. Zach's gonna go for his.
He takes the long way around here.
Yeah,
nope, he doesn't. Music gets pulled out of the queue though. He's gonna see the flash burn here. Ooh!
Wow, I thought he was going to wait.
Mark pop gives Teague the first blood, and again, we see the pressure coming out of the Dark Horse's jungler, showing that he knows his way around the map in those early games. Curious if you had the champion marked. I would imagine, as I think that's pretty common to mark the top laner or the jungler. Oh, Lin with the solo kill in the mid lane. Looks like they were under turret. I am curious what happened. Gets away with a little bit of health. Honestly, less than we see on the screen now because he just leveled up when that happened. He did not have his ult available when that happened, when that fight went down. But that gives us a quick 2-0 at 5 minutes for Team Dark Horse.
Certainly a great start. I thought, so what I ended up thinking was going to happen top lane is Kindred was going to wait an extra second so the mark would come down on Set, but he went for the auto, and I assume he went for the auto because he thought Set was going to W, and then Set just took the L. We see Leo going in here. I think this is kind of questionable simply because there's so much peel on Nautilus, but they might actually be able to get a kill on him, so not too bad at the end of the day. They have an Ignite and Exhaust bot lane. We're going to see Sword go down here. T's getting focused down, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-for-2. Not too bad considering it was a 3v2.
Sorry, I realized I was on mute, took a drink of water there. I think that was totally worth there for a second. Yeah, 1-for-1. T got another kill. 3v2. They do manage to pull one out. Oh, bit of another scuffle. So Aaron taking advantage of his level 6 over Music, but Music, once again, doing pretty well up there against these top laners.
Yeah, I mean, Sir Aaron's definitely showing a lot of dominance here. The issue is Music's just got such a poor lane in comparison.
Music, just wait for the wave to push, bro. You don't need to get fancy here. That's a lot of minions.
I think that, well, since only auto attacks aggro the minions, going for the Q there is pretty good. He really needs to take anything he can, because if he doesn't, he's going to get dove by the Chungo brothers, and that's not a good way to go out.
Yeah, we saw that game 1 did not go well. It looks like they're going to have another mark denied from the Kindred. C is not in position to take that top scuttle where it spawned. They definitely see the Viego mid there. Going to go after, looking for this dragon, it seems. Going to go ahead and start it up, but
I don't.
yeah, it looks like the distraction of the Kindred mark on the top side is going to be enough to secure the first Drake for blue.
I don't think the Drake is actually too important. I don't think Soul is going to dictate how this game goes. So really, I'd like to see Chuck either counter jungle here or get a successful gank off top lane. It looks like counter jungling is just about all he's got, but he's going to lose blue for it because his pathing is kind of wonky.
Yeah, so he had his brother actually set up that scuttle for him. I think Chuck got the final hit on it. Honestly, I feel like you just let Set take this and Chuck goes and does something else on the map, right? Like his top side is spawning right now, but that's how it went down. Also, that is a nice Zac skin. I don't think I've seen that in game too many times. Some cool graphics on that.
Yeah,
he does steal away the blue buff, but he's going to lose his wolves in return. I'm curious if Chuck's going to stick around for this one to spawn, if he's going to go on Gromp, and if Kindred's going to back here and make his way to the top side. He should have a decent amount of gold, as he did pick up another kill on the bot, hasn't backed since then. But looks like he will be running, so if Chuck sticks around for the blue, we will see a scuffle.
Well, Chuck has to take absolutely everything. Well, I mean, everything but this blue. Everything that was up earlier.
I was going to say, you're telling me he should stick around for this blue? Because we are seeing a fight in the topside jungle right now. Chuck jumping out of the way, though.
Actually, because if they... Whoa.
Did Kindred just ult? Kindred just ulted. Yep. We saw that on the bottom of our screen. Flame goes where Flame deserves. Teak, what the hell was that?
Teak is just establishing dominance. Simply saying... He didn't need ulti to deal with Chuck there. And letting Chuck know that outside of vision.
I'm 100% positive that is exactly what did not happen.
He is walking in without ulti.
It happens. People fat finger things. Kindred is not in a great position here. Music throwing out those missing pings. Music throwing out those missing pings. If they get collapsed on here, that is not Music's fault. Chuck getting a lot of support from his team in the jungle right now. But Teague doing his best to be annoying. Still not up on farm. Actually is down. I'm not sure if Zac is where they want to be focusing all of this effort, but they're definitely making sure Chuck does not fall behind this game like he did last.
Well, Teague will run away with this game if Chuck does not maintain some sense of at least jungle equivalency.
Yeah.
Because it's the point where he can just walk in and take marks. I mean, it's over. The thing is that Kindred has just been sacrificing mark after mark to try and scale gold-wise, and that's kind of where it's okay for Team Mantra. But if Chuck gets behind and he can just start taking marks, the game will end very quickly in a very ugly way.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love seeing the Kindred with the auto attack range that can hit you from outside of the turret. I think that's hilarious. Don't know if we're going to see that this time, but it's always a potential, you know? Like, that Kindred is going to scale and scale and scale, especially if you let her take those marks. I'm sorry, them take those marks.
True. We see Sir Aaron still maintaining a lot of strength top, and Kindred really has to keep invading in order to keep her lead alive, so he's just kind of stuck in the grinder here, and we may be looking at a solo kill to come out from Sir Aaron later.
I mean, Music's stuck in the grinder, but up on farm, doing just fine up there.
True, but the champ difference is probably too much.
Okay, champ difference, but player difference.
True. We're seeing a fight go down top lane, and it
bit of a scuffle up top. Yeah, just back and forth as always. Punching on each other, just artificially inflating their damage numbers, so after the game they can look at their teams and say, hey, look, we played the game too. Nah, just kidding. They have TP. We'll see something fun happen. Dragon going to be spawning here in about a minute and a half, I believe. Yep, we got 1 minute and 1 minute 15 seconds on that, and then the Rift Herald obviously on the map currently. A couple of big objectives coming up soon. People hitting some early component breakpoints. Let's see some fights. Let's see some spice. Chuck does have his passive up, so maybe he can look for something a little bit more aggressive with the bot lane roaming up. Echo getting collapsed on by
Echo's
4 members.
Low on mana, so they can just look straight for this Drake. This Drake fight is like water in the desert level important for Red Side.
You think?
Red Side should make something happen here. I think they have a late game comp where it's good, but if Blue Side keeps this lead, they may lose the agency that they're looking for. That's a TP from Set. Music still has teleport, so if he just backs up here and maybe looks for a TP on mid to make sure that they don't get all this agency to push in this Drake,
I mean, good rotation from the bot lane, but it seems like it was about 45 seconds too early. Drake hasn't even spawned yet, and they were up there waiting in the bush for someone to walk through. Blue didn't. It's not like that they didn't even walk in. It's that they weren't even thinking about walking in yet, you know? They were getting their backs off, and now that we're actually 10 seconds away from the Drake spawning, we do see Seth starting to walk down the river music. I think at this point you just walk over. Yep, there you go. Switching directions. Well done, sir. Lynn doing some fancy footwork to clear out that ward there. And we will see a fight at this Drake. Bot lane could get pinched if Diego comes over right now, but looks like they're going to be pinching themselves onto Chuck.
Oh, this is very favorable. Does Chuck have flash ult?
He still has passive as well.
Oh, this is very good. Viego's coming in. Viego just has to find anything here. This is looking very good for blue team, but Viego's coming in. Viego almost kills Sword. There it is. He's turning into Leo. He's going to go on to Kindred. And it looks
misses
like blue
the
team
E.
just runs away with it, actually. Very well played from blue.
I think Lin got just a massive ultimate and destroyed the backline. Humble got really excited when he saw that first reset, but I guess he doesn't spend enough time playing support champions. Let that be a lesson to you all. Don't disrespect the role. And misses the E onto the Kindred, is not able to really follow up after that first reset. That gives blue side a 3.5k gold lead, as well as that second Drake. For the first time this game, we may see a soul. Or for the first time this series. Sorry, let me correct that.
Most certainly. I'm kind of confused because Sir Aaron had flash and ulti that fight, but it doesn't look like Sion was ulted, and so I'm concerned on where that went. It's a tough situation to be in, but I feel like Seth should be doing more, especially with his W in a choke. That should have gone better for Red. I'd have to watch that back though.
Yeah, it was a confusing fight for sure. I think Teague should be able to. Yeah, Sir Aaron, you cannot walk in here. You have no support from your team right now, and they may not have backed yet, but blue side definitely has the tempo going into these next few. They managed to knock down the mid turret there, which is huge. Get those waves pushing, extend those vision for these mini objectives through the mid game. Oh, Zach looking for the jump here.
This looks like a great fight, especially with Diego. They need gold on him. If they can get down Leo and then translate it. Nope. Looks like they're
not quite. Not quite. Sword playing that really well, getting a two-man stun almost as soon as Zach gets the knockup. Diego just not with the damage. Obviously, Senna herself still scaling, sitting at 006, right where you want your ADC to be. But if my time as a support has taught me anything, it's that all resources on the map belong to the ADC. Shout out Lusa for that valuable lesson. And I'm sure Senna will be scaling up here shortly.
Well, Senna's picking up Divine Sunder, which is one of the strongest items that this game has seen in a long time, and it's 12% on every Q she lands on everybody in the queue.
That
plus healing
is a lot of math. That seems like very big numbers.
It's incredibly strong, and it's a cooldown reduction. It's
100%.
It's just once she hits that, team fighting is going to be very difficult, especially in chokes. If Senna doesn't die, she's essentially infinite resources.
Makes a lot of sense.
Diego
getting resets, and we, as you said, she picks up that Thunder. We see a lot of Mythics starting to come out from the side. Also, early Magi's from the 5-0 Echo went ahead and upgraded that Dark Seal, is expecting to get some more stacks after that enormous previous team fight. Love the confidence coming out of Lin right now. He is ready to carry his team to the full victory.
Definitely. I mean, Lin is flexing his muscles here. It's a little bit of ego, but who are we to say he hasn't earned it? He's sitting here 5-0 right after that last game. I mean, okay, Lin, do you?
Is it hubris or is it confidence? You know, is the pride too much? But we're setting up the dive bot. Ooh, this looks real good for blue.
Coulson,
perfect ult.
Eating.
Perfect ult and tank from Swordmaster. That is the support play that I love to see from Leona. Honestly, made possible by the best champion in the game. Well done, blue side, recognizing that weakness, picking up another turret, and pushing onto the tier 2 here. A lot of time spent top by Chuck results in nothing. Music sitting to that beautiful 0-0-5. Down a little bit of farm, but honestly, at this point, who cares? Team's doing a great job. You just keep doing you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Lin was looking at Humble like he was a cheeseburger, and you know every star's got his Pippin, and that was definitely Sword.
Indeed. Teague picking up another mark here. If we get a downtime, I'm going to take another look. But Sword going to get run down. It happens. Supports get left behind all the time. Their lives matter too. Still, even with that kill, we see the death difference 9-3, over 5k lead, and a Music ult in the top lane. If we could switch up there real fast.
I think that Music probably dies here. Sir Aaron, you can turn with W, I'd imagine.
I think he already used it.
I still think maybe in a few seconds he walks back in. This is very... Okay, so Sir Aaron should be looking for a kill here, and then we can translate it into a Drake. There we go. He's starting. Just keep punching.
I mean,
Music is
the
low on
item
mana.
difference, though.
Wow.
Sir Aaron doesn't have his Mythic yet, and he has that full Frostfire Gauntlet.
So
It's
Sir
just-
Aaron doesn't actually build his Mythic first. He builds Blade of the Rune King.
Okay, he doesn't have a completed item then.
Very true. Well, the Blade of the Rune King is actually weaker than Mythics, as most people would imagine. And so just having these random components puts him in a really tough spot. Yeah, Sion definitely abused it.
We do see another fight in the bot lane. Lin getting caught out a bit, but perhaps going to make it through. Oh, the flash forward from the flash forward from Quantic
We're seeing
makes this a
massive
fight. Quantic styling on them right now. Bush League doing his thing where he autos and they don't get a move with the Viego over top. But now Music's here. TP coming in from the top laner. Chuck jumping in on the back. Kindred ult going to maybe push him out. Zach bouncing around. This is not looking good for blue.
Oh my god. I mean, Red Side's... I hesitate to say they win the game here, but it's pretty close.
I think that's a comeback at most. They are still down gold kills Drakes. They do a good job getting some tempo back, but I think by no means is that a one game. Lin gets caught out. Quantic makes the hero play. I don't think they had vision over that wall when that happened. Maybe there was a pink ward in the bush and I missed it. But he flash Qs to kill the Echo, who 100% was making it out there if that didn't happen. Gets the massive shutdown.
I mean, that was
absolutely
like 800
pelts
or
them with
900
damage. Yeah, it was the 500 on top. Yep.
Well,
Huge play from the red side to even this game back up, because it was definitely not looking too hot for them before.
Well, it's past even, because essentially we're looking at what is Sion and Leo, which is a very beefy front line, and their biggest advantage here is that they're keeping Ezreal away from getting Sunder and Grudge and just melting them. But with that much gold put on Ezreal, he's looking straight at Divine Sunder here, and he's going to start melting. He's going to put out a ton of damage.
100%. They do have a ward on this, but I don't think Red is going to be in a position to contest this. Perhaps the Ezreal has flown over if it's up. But you're right. That's a lot of gold onto the Ezreal, who's also sitting at the highest farm in the game. Tied for highest farm in the game, 1 minute off, up there with the Echo. Huge 2.5 completed items with the major component of the Last Whisper. Going to be just pumping out the damage. But it looks like blue side will use that Herald to knock down the final turret the final outer turret in the top lane. Pulling the trigger here in mid lane.
I love it. You know, they say that Bush League only knows how to go in one direction, and it's definitely forward here. He's picking up Senna in order to hit the next tower. I love it. It's a great spot to be in for red side, and they're making great use of the lead that was given to them.
Zach's coming in for the dive with the passive.
And they
Sword a
should
little
be
bit far forward.
on music. This is great. Bush League's going to keep going forward. They're going to pick up Sion here with Viego, and they should use that in order to stop the passive from running over the team.
Yeah, and Quantic, with the distraction of the dive, is able to pick up Sword on the back, who hung around just a little bit too long. But on the top side, there is a lot more happening. They are knocking on the door of the base while we were focusing on the dive. I was about to say, what is blue team doing right now? Seems like they're falling apart, getting picked off. But no, they are just trashing the inside of red team's base.
So that actually should have been an end, but Teague made a massive misplay there. He ulted to keep the Herald alive, but he ulted in a position to where the Herald died by the second tower next, rather than getting the charge off and getting down the next tower. So this is going to actually be a game. Blue side making an absolute mega mind macro play, and they definitely. I hesitate to say they should have won, but short of a mechanical misplay, It was either going to be Bear Nexus or a lost game.
I mean, it's early enough in the game to where those super minions are not going to go down easy. Even with like the Ezreal sitting on the amount of gold he has, he's not going to always be the one up there clearing. Yes, super minions are a comeback mechanic as well as a way for the team who takes the inhib to push, because they do keep your wave pushing in, let you catch all that gold. But also, that's a lot of pressure on the map where these dragons and these barons are spawning, and you don't want to be stuck in your base.
I would agree with you if blue team was on Soul Point, but they're not. So they're
They're
going
not
to,
yet.
but if they get Soul Point now, inhib's up for the Soul contest. So it's blue team is in a favorable position, yes, but putting more gold onto Viego and Ezreal, which they can focus on with the super minions, is a really tough spot for blue team to be in.
Teague really
looks like
far
he's getting
forward
hit.
here.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow, Teague. That Ezreal did so much damage. I think he had QR there, and Teague sitting there at half health. Lin doing a bit of poking
Zach
around
on
the
Ezreal.
side.
oh,
Nothing coming out of that except half of Chuck's health bar. If we do have a second here without too much action, I would love to look at those Kindred stacks. I think he's getting a couple more marks this game than he did last time.
Whoa.
Oh, Chuck flashes out.
Okay, they're going in on Teague. Teague should be dead here. We're looking at it.
He has
We
flash
don't have
and
Humble
ult.
fighting the fight yet.
Ooh, Lin with a massive 3-man stun. Gonna just massacre the 3 he caught in there.
Sir Aaron dying with W again, and unless Teague goes down here, this should be it. They just walk top of the supers, and
Yeah, they
that's a
have
wrap.
the wave, and I think they see it. That is a clean ace from blue side, and it seems like Mama Noel's buff does not prove to be enough to carry them all the way through. Lin with the massive 3-man stun on the overcommit onto Teague. Sure, Teague was a bit of out of position there, but they did not have the follow-up damage to kill that Kindred, who still had flash and ult up. Humble goes onto the backline, does not have the ability to fight the kite from the CC, from the Senna, from the time that the Kindred ult buys. Quantic here for the hero play, but that is going to be the series, everyone. And
true.
a classic Dark Horse fashion, they get the miniature reverse sweep, going from 0-1 to a 2-1 series win. What a fun one that was.
Yeah, I mean, very well played from Lin's team. They get punched a lot, but they're obviously not tilting. We saw Music as, you know, I didn't see the best things on repeat, but he did what he had to do. You know, it's he works, and that's what I like to see. You know, we saw Sir Aaron miss W's mid fight. I think 3 fights in a row he did not activate W, and so he just died immediately. Damn, I mean, Lin's team slapping. I definitely I had them ranked as third, with second being front to back, but they might be second.
I
Very
think
well
they
played.
just are not capable of winning the first game in the series. They need a warm-up match. They did a great job sweeping this one from behind, and we should pick an MVP real quick, get him in here. Honestly, I think it's got to be Lin. He carried so hard in game 2, and then once again in game 3, he swept that fight. If we could get him in here for a couple of quick seconds, unless you disagree and want to talk to somebody else from the Dark Horses.
It would be an absolute struggle being on Lin's team because I'd never get the MVP. Yes. Yeah. Music was a rock. He did well.
Music did real, and
Sword?
Sword hit some key ults. Droid was a role
Yes.
player the entire time. Teague, so much pressure in the jungle, but Lin with the hero plays left and right. Let's get him in here. Lin, my man, congratulations on that come from behind win for the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, this is our 3rd time we reverse sweep a team. Our mental is just too strong.
Very
So
true.
you give them the first one, let them get that false sense of confidence, crush them with the overconfidence,
The
and then
first game was
take
so
advantage
rough.
of their despair. So tell me what happened in the first
slaughtered
game.
us.
What happened?
It was so rough. They absolutely slaughtered us. Chuck is just insane on the Nocturne. Couldn't do anything about it.
Okay. Nothing to do with the Jacks, right? They would just kept jumping on
Oh
your
yeah, the
back line.
Jax. We got countered so hard from the Jax pick. I
Mhm.
wish I didn't play the Viego that game.
Okay,
So
that makes a lot of sense.
what were your thoughts in game 2 when Chuck's death timer popped up at around 2 minutes in?
Oh, we didn't actually see him dying to the camp. He just looked at the scoreboard and said, "Wait, Chuck died in the camp," and we're like, "What the fuck?"
Just for the record stream, I promised I wouldn't bring it up again, but 12-inch did, so I did
Oh,
not
my
break my
bad.
word. No, you can. I just said I wouldn't. So yeah, Chuck, obviously different performance in game 2, and you with the pop off, you hit level 16, you bought that Archangels, and you just slaughtered them, ran through them. I mean, that must have felt great, right? Like you were just waiting for that moment the whole game.
Yeah, it felt so good. T got us so hurt ahead early, so I basically got to free
Mhm.
farm the entire game, and we just win when I hit 16.
Yeah.
Also, I saw a position. There's an angle. You were level 13. There were 5 people near the pit, and your team was grouped as 4 away. How did they tie you back from ulting into them 1v5 at that trade?
Wait,
What?
what team fight you're talking about?
He's referencing the fact that you have a habit of going in 1v5 and being a little bit ahead of your team.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad habit of mine. I usually place like a solo queue player at times.
But his comment was actually a compliment that you didn't do at that time. So
Yeah, it was good. I thought your team had held you back. I didn't know if the restraints were pulled out or how they did it, but I mean, you look great.
Yeah,
mhm.
thanks.
Yeah, big shout out because you did manage to not only win the reverse seat but also overcome the Mama Knowles buff tonight.
Oh yeah, shout out
She
to
picked
Mama
Team
Knows.
Mantra in the last game, and you guys proved her wrong. One of the few times that her prediction has fallen short. But great game, 2 and 3. The Echo play at the very end with the 3-man stun, absolutely knocking them down. And the big split push in the mid game that just cracked open the base and let you guys have an ally to straight walk up and blow the Nexus over. Great games tonight. Any last words for the fans at home?
Shout out to Monkey. He's a amazing coach, and thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
wait. What did Monkey contribute to the game tonight? I would love to know.
He just gave our team some good coaching.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting, because the only coaching I've ever gotten from Monkey is just absolute flame, but I'm glad it worked out for you all.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Great games tonight.
Yeah, no
You
problem.
want to take us
Congrats.
out here, 12-inch?
Well, I would like everybody to thank everybody for showing up. Congratulations to Team Dark Horse on the 2-1 lead over Team Mantra. I think both teams played very well. Lynn with the MVP, excellent showing, and the whole team looking very good tonight. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for co-casting with me, Dbrand, and shout out to Lost in the Sauce, aka Bovie, for handling production.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, everyone. See you
Good night.
tomorrow.